Warrior Lore. Chapter 4162. Of course. At this point, Wu Tian changed the topic and said respectfully, if Master doesn't agree, disciple will not mention this matter in the future and will only focus on cultivation. Haha, get up. How could Xiaohua not know Wu Tian's thoughts? Every cultivator wanted to fight for a chance to cultivate under the ruthless heaven and earth, and Wu Tian was no exception. So Xiaohua smiled and said, Master doesn't blame you for having such thoughts. You have your own thoughts and want to stay in the ruins and create your own world. Master is more than happy. However, Master doesn't have the heart to leave you here without properly guiding your cultivation. Thank you, Master. Wu Tian got up and said in shame, Disciple has shamed Master. Actually, what you've said is nothing to me at all. Xiaohua explained again. First of all, Master has the Kunlun mirror. When Master ascends, if you feel that you can't pass the tribulation, you can follow Master to the immortal world. Disciple has already thought of this possibility. Wu Tian shook his head and said, Disciple can't cultivate well in the hidden immortal continent. How can I cultivate better in the immortal world? Amen. Secondly, Xiaohua said again, Master is proficient in Buddhist secret arts. I can let you reincarnate and cultivate again. Ah? Wu Tian was shocked, but after thinking for a while, he still shook his head. If I reincarnate and cultivate again, will Wu Tian still be Wu Tian? All right. Xiaohua nodded slightly and said, Finally, Master wants to tell you that the ruins is definitely not a paradise. What you see is only what you want to see. The mutual deception here is not any worse than the hidden immortal continent. Master, at least in this place, Disciple is not afraid of being attacked by Confucian cultivators. Wu Tian argued. Not only that, Xiaohua raised his hand and pointed to the sky. The outcome of this battle with the devil race is still unknown. Maybe under the devil race's large-scale attack, the ruins will really become the ruins. Also, according to the news sent back by the disciples outside the ruins, a large-scale great desolate star storm has already appeared. Many of the moon god realm star regions will inevitably be involved, and the ruins is one of them. Even if the cultivators of the ruins manage to escape the claws of the devils, I'm afraid that it would be difficult for them to escape from the primeval starburst. Wu Tian naturally didn't know what a great desolate star storm was, but after seeing Xiaohua's solemn expression, he wavered a little. However, after a short moment, Wu Tian firmly said, Master, this disciple has already thought about it. How can there not be a life and death trial? How could there be no natural disasters? When I was on the Shunhua continent, I used divination techniques to check. Although my cultivation base is low, I can sense that I have not encountered any bloodshed in the short term. Xiaohua nodded slightly. Of course, he also thought of Yuming Xin. The result of his divination for Yuming Xin was not a bad omen. Now, after hearing Wu Tian's words, Xiaohua felt that the cultivators of the ruins must have had other opportunities and would not be wiped out. Disciple, it's fine if you want to leave. Xiaohua saw that Wu Tian had already made up his mind and didn't say anything more. He only urged him to stay. However, Master feels that you should wait until after this battle. If the devils win, Master can still take you and escape. But you, I'm afraid it's not easy to escape from the hands of the devils. Master, Wu Tian replied, people often say that when you are placed in a death trap, you will be reborn. This disciple is always under Master's wings. When can I soar alone in the sky? This disciple pleads Master to let this disciple leave now. Xiaohua looked at the determination in Wu Tian's eyes and seemed to see the brave Zhang Xiaohua from God knows how many years ago. He nodded and took out 2 spatial rings from his bosom and handed them to Wu Tian. Since you have already decided, then Master won't say anything. These are cultivation methods, medicinal pills, magic treasures, and other things. You can use them yourself, and you can also use them when you establish a sect for our fortune gate. Yes, this disciple understands. Wu Tian took them and put them away without looking at them carefully. This is the upper realm. I'm afraid it's not easy to cultivate a nascent soul. Master will give you a primordial spirit cultivation method, as well as a nascent soul cultivation method. You can deal with them yourself. Xiaohua explained and stretched out a finger. In addition, Master has used the karma method several times and has also comprehended some things. I will pass it to you now. Master. Wu Tian couldn't help but cry. Although he was a 6,000 years old cultivator, he was still affected by Xiao Hua's strong familial love. Xiao Hua's finger flashed and touched Wu Tian's forehead. Wu Tian felt the whole world fall into his mind, and then he fainted. Sigh. Xiao Hua looked at Wu Tian's body that was lying on the ground and slowly trembling. An obscure fluctuation spread out from Wu Tian's forehead. Xiao Hua knew that Wu Tian was absorbing what he had imparted to him. He sighed and raised his head. At this time, in the sky above Xiao Hua's head, a fire snake rushed out from the protective formation. A cultivator wearing a battle armor stepped out from the fire. Wasn't that the heavy flow sex Hua Fei? Hua Fei's battle armor was a little damaged and there were black stains on it. It was obviously stained by the devil race. Hua Fei's hair was a little messy and his breathing was unstable. The protective light around his body was also different. When Hua Fei landed on the ground, he bowed and said, "Dao Master Xiao, I am heavy flow sex Hua Fei." Xiao Hua looked at him indifferently and cupped his hands casually. "Dao Master Hua doesn't need to be so polite. We have already met on the transmission artifact." "Indeed." Hua Fei laughed. "When I learned that Dao Master Xiao killed the Eternal Peace Mountain's Devil King, I knew that Dao Master Xiao is an upright person. You are definitely not a devil race spy." Xiao Hua was already stubborn. He looked at Hua Fei indifferently and said, "Dao Master Hua, if you have something to say, say it directly. This Xiao doesn't understand beating around the bush." Hua Fei was a little embarrassed and said with a smile, "Previously, some of the sect masters in the meeting hall misunderstood Dao Master Xiao and the Fortune Gate's disciples. Now, this Hua is here to apologize on their behalf. The ruins is at the most critical moment. The survival of the ruins depends on this battle. Therefore, I ask Dao Master and the Fortune Gate's disciples to fight and help the ruins human race defeat the devil race." Huh. Xiao Hua spread his arms, stretched his body, yawned, rubbed his eyes, and said with a smile, "Fellow Taoist Hua, I just woke up and haven't washed my face yet. My mind is in a mess, so I don't quite understand what you're saying. Dao Master Hua, please turn back and wait for this Xiao to go back to sleep and wash my face. It won't be too late to explain to this Xiao then." "Dao Master Xiao." Hua Fei smiled bitterly. Just as he was about to say something, Xiao Hua was lying in the air with his eyes closed and his mouth and nose started snoring. "AI." Hua Fei sighed helplessly. He knew that the meeting hall's actions had hurt Xiao Hua's heart. At this time, no matter what he said, he would only be humiliating himself. It was better not to say anything. Therefore, Hua Fei sighed and rushed into the air. Then, a fire pillar fell from the flame high up in the sky and caught Hua Fei's body. As the fire pillar disappeared, Hua Fei's body disappeared. After more than 30 days, the black qi in the flame high up in the sky became thicker. The wisps of blood in the black qi became clearer and more bloody. This bloody smell was so deep in the flame that a kind of violent aura was gradually born in the whole world. From time to time, there would be some disharmonious things falling in this aura. It could be some magic treasures, spatial rings, battle armors, or even broken limbs. Of course, these things were nothing in the ruins now. Most of the things left behind were these things. However, through the realm-protecting Grand Array, they could still exist after falling so high. The quality of these broken magic treasures must be extraordinary. There were also the corpses of the fallen cultivators. Naturally, they had been tempered. Just as Xiao Hua was deep in thought, Wu Tian woke up. He stood up and knelt down for the third time. This time, he could no longer speak. His eyes were filled with tears as he kowtowed with all his strength. At this time, any words would be useless. No need to be so childish. Xiao Hua helped him up and said, "You have become Master's disciple, but Master didn't give you much guidance. In the future, you will have to rely on yourself. It is normal for Master to do more for you. In the ruins, disciple will not tarnish Master's name. I will also make the Fortune Gate a big sect in the ruins." Wu Tian gritted his teeth and said word by word, and Xiao Hua nodded. "This is what you think. Master doesn't need you to bear anything. As long as you live well and cultivate well, It will be fine. With that, Xiaohua brought Fu Jiwen and the other disciples out of the space. When the disciples heard that Wu Tian wanted to stay, they were surprised, but they understood in a moment. Although they were reluctant, after all, they had cultivated together for thousands of years. Thinking that Wu Tian's choice was extremely correct, everyone gave him their blessings and didn't blame him. After the disciples exchanged their tokens, Xiaohua looked at Lui and the others and said with a smile, "The ruins is the upper realm. Whether it is the resources or the heaven and earth origin energy, it is much better than the hidden immortal continent. Especially, this is the cultivation world. There is no persecution of Confucian cultivators. It is most suitable for our Tao cultivators to cultivate. If any of you want to stay here, Master will not stop you. However, if you want to stay, you will have to pay a price. Your thousands of years of cultivation will turn into flowing water. Senior Brother Wu has his own path. We have our own path." Fu Jiwen said with a smile. Disciple is different from Senior Brother Wu Tian. Disciple is determined to follow Master. Master, please don't drive Disciple away. Afterwards, Lu Yi and the others spoke up as well. They were younger than Wu Tian, and the disciples of Confucianism and Buddhism were obviously not suitable to stay in the ruins. Those who practiced Taoism had all started from the Qi refinement realm, so they did not have an unstable foundation like Wu Tian. Therefore, none of the disciples were willing to stay. Seeing that the other disciples weren't willing to stay, Wu Tian's face became a little hot. Xiaohua was very sharp and noticed it. He smiled and said, "Disciple, Fu Jiwen said it well. Everyone has their own path. Master didn't understand before, but now, Master wants to encourage you to stay. After Master ascends to the upper realm, maybe I will come to the ruins to look for you." Many thanks for Master's understanding. Wu Tian's heart was slightly relieved. -13. Chapter 4163. Lu Yi and the other disciples chatted with Wu Tian for a while before reluctantly bidding farewell and returning to Shenhua continent. After all the disciples left, Xiaohua said to Wu Tian, "It's a war now, and there's no pure land in the entire ruins. Previously, I used divination to investigate, and the southwest of the ruins should be the key to the war. As long as it's not near the southwest border, the other places should be fine. Of course, the soaring Dragon Mountain range is an opportunity for some people, but for you, I don't know." Disciple understands. Wu Tian looked at the abandoned cave abode in the distance and said, "Then Disciple will go to the cave abode that I used to cultivate in. It won't be too late to come out after the Taoist demon war is over." "All right." Xiaohua raised his hand and waved it slightly. His heart ached a little, just like when Little Black and Little Yellow left. Although Wu Tian didn't spend as much time with him as Little Black and Little Yellow, he was still his disciple's disciple. Xiaohua, who liked to gather and not part, couldn't bear for him to leave like this. "Disciple will go now." Wu Tian bit his lips and knelt down to kowtow a few more times. Only then did he move and hide in the cave abode in the distance after looking back several times. "Sigh, this child." Green-robed Xiaohua's voice sounded. "It's a war now, and there's danger everywhere. Why didn't he hide in the space and leave after the war? He's afraid that after entering the space, the decision he made with great difficulty would change." Xiaohua replied in a low voice. After all, when a person is used to an environment, it's difficult to leave. If he thinks about leaving again, I'm afraid he really won't leave. Then, his ambition will be wiped clean. I think it's a good thing for him to stay in the ruins. After all, his cultivation foundation isn't stable, and he definitely won't be able to ascend to the immortal world in the end. However, the ruins are in danger now. Not to mention the devil race, there's also the chaos starstorm. Neither of these are things that Wu Tian can handle by himself. Wu Tian is different from other disciples. Xiaohua said, he's naturally sensitive and knows how to avoid danger. Moreover, his divination skills are quite good. If he feels that he can stay, then there's no big problem. Didn't I divine for Yu Mingxin before? Even with Yu Mingxin's cultivation, there wouldn't be any problems, let alone Wu Tian. Perhaps there will be an end to the Taoist demon war here, or perhaps the transmission channel from the ruins to the Taibai astral boundary can be repaired after the Taoist demon war. In short, the heavens are virtuous. When a door is closed, a window will be opened. Humph, here it comes again. While Xiao Hua was speaking, the green-robed Xiao Hua gave a cold snort. These cultivators from the discussion hall are really thick-skinned. So noisy. And Xiao Hua didn't know what was going on, so he responded and looked up at the sky. At this time, two young cultivators wearing battle armor descended from the sky. They were the ones that Xiao Hua had seen in Yunche's communication artifact. At that time, Yunche had also introduced them. They were Zhang Jing of Yinhong Hall and Fei Cheng of Jingfei Mountain. The two of them had an extremely awkward expression on their faces. Although they saw Xiao Hua looking up at the sky from afar and ignoring the two of them had no choice but to go forward. When they flew in front of Xiao Hua, the two of them bowed and said, "Taoist Xiao, we are Zhang Jing and Fei Cheng. We have specially come to apologize to Taoist Xiao." Unfortunately, when the two of them finished speaking, they didn't see Xiao Hua open his mouth, nor did they see any strength to help them up. The two of them stole a glance and saw that Xiao Hua's nostrils were facing the two of them. His black nostrils seemed to be mocking them. Taoist Xiao. The two of them felt helpless, but they didn't dare to straighten up. They still said, "Previously, the two of us were blinded by lard. We wanted to borrow Taoist Zhao's devil arts, to attack the fortune gate, and take the opportunity to raise the prestige of our two sects. We even wanted to take the fortune gate's forces into our sects. We were really wrong. Although 100 deaths are nothing to be regretted, if it weren't for the fact that we were in a war and wanted to leave our bodies to deal with the devil race, we would definitely have declared our sincerity in front of Taoist Xiao. Today, outside the Realm Protection Grand Array, the 4 sects, sect masters, and over 10,000 spirit refinement and spirit return cultivators were killed by the Devil Monarch. And that mysterious Devil Monarch still hasn't appeared. Taoist Xiao, our cultivation is shallow, and it's difficult for us to be the Devil Monarch's opponent, let alone the Devil Formation's opponent. We hope that Taoist Xiao can take into account that we are all humans and help us ruins cultivators. After this battle, the two of us will definitely give up our positions as sect masters and leave the ruins, never to return." Zhang Jing and Fei Cheng had obviously thought about it long ago. They came to Xiao Hua and didn't shirk at all. They spoke frankly about their mistakes and even asked Xiao Hua to help them with the safety of the human race. Unfortunately, Xiao Hua had just sent Wu Tian away and was in a bad mood. How could he listen to their long-winded words? Once again, Zhang Jing and Fei Cheng tried their best to talk to them. They bowed and talked for a full hour, but all they saw was 2 nostrils. They didn't even give them 2 white nuts. Helpless, the two of them could only retreat dejectedly. "Granny!" The green-robed Xiao Hua shouted, "These bullshit cultivators. If they knew this would happen, why did they do it in the first place? When they sent more than 10 teams to monitor my Fortune Gate's lightning boat, they weren't like this. Now that they can't defeat the devil race, they pretended to come here to repent. If apologies were useful, would there be any need for weapons? These 2 sect masters can be considered to be sincere in their apologies." The two of them bowed and apologized for a long time with their identities as Dao Transformation Realm cultivators. In the ruins, this is unbelievable. Of course, I don't know what they are thinking, but the situation is stronger than them. They have no choice but to lower their heads. Oh, could it be that their so-called self-abasement and leaving the ruins is also fake? Of course it's not fake. Xiao Hua replied indifferently, "These words are the price for us to take action. Even if we agree, the 100 sects in the discussion hall won't agree." "Isn't Tanyu going to take the lead?" Buddha Bodhi couldn't help but ask. The number of wandering souls dying in battle is increasing. The number of human cultivators can't be compared to the devil race. Nonsense, Xiao Hua said unhappily. The ruins is about to be destroyed. But aren't we also killed by the Devil Emperor? How can we not take action? However, if you want us to take action, there must be a condition. Daisuke, we have been in the ruins for dozens of years, but we haven't seen any auction, nor have we seen any good treasures. The things that the incense cult gave us, we still have to return to them. We can't leave the ruins empty-handed, right? Namo Maitreya Buddha. Tanyu is too greedy. Bodhi smiled bitterly. Aren't the eternal peace mountain and snow/gate in our hands? Didn't the Shundao sect's sect master Yunche also give some? There are also some gifts from the 8 southwestern sects. These are already quite a lot. Io, little monk. Xiaohua replied, those are things that we should get. Our Fortune Gate disciples can't be bullied by them. If they don't show some sincerity, don't even think about making I take action. That's right. Dragon Vein Xiaohua also egged. Didn't you see that after several months of fighting, only the Devil Monarch has taken action? The Devil Emperor is nowhere to be seen. At this time, there is no need for us to take action. The main meeting hall wants our Fortune Gate disciples to take action. The protective green-robed Xiaohua said coldly, they have a good plan? Humph. Xiaohua sneered. Our Fortune Gate disciples have enough experience. There is no need for us to fight the devil race. If the main meeting hall is sincere, we can take part in the battle, but none of our disciples can come out. After saying that, Xiaohua sat cross-legged on the mountain peak, carefully comprehending the benefits of using the karma technique. The ruins was the upper realm. The heavenly Tao rules here were different from the hidden, immortal continent. Divine arts that directly connected to the great Tao, like the karma method, could only be unleashed here without any restrictions. The details within were all things that Xiaohua could use in his cultivation. If Xiaohua wanted to unleash the karma method in the hidden, immortal continent, he had to comprehend these details thoroughly. Unknowingly, more than a month passed. The battle cries near the soaring Dragon Mountain range gradually disappeared, and the black chi between heaven and earth became thicker. Especially the flames that covered the sky, they became dimmer. Whether it was the devil chi or the blood-red light, they restrained the crimson flames. In this devil chi, vague figures of devils appeared. Human cultivators also appeared in the flames from time to time. It was very obvious that the boundary of the great Taoist devil war had been pushed into the realm protection formation by the devil race. The defense of the ruins was really at a critical point. Hee, fellow Taoist. On this day, when the fierce wind between heaven and earth stopped, green-robed Xiaohua shouted, look who's here! Look who's here! At this point, I'm afraid your wishful thinking has been ruined, right? AI, yes. Xiaohua's eyes were still closed, but a bitter smile appeared on his face as he replied, this must be Imo Lianqi's idea. When this girl came, I had no choice but to take action. Of course. Green-robed Xiaohua laughed and said, fellow Taoist, you only saved her life that day. Then, she sacrificed her lifespan to repay you. This karma has already been settled. However, later on, she secretly fell in love with you. Even I was envious of your luck with women. However, looking at the situation of the fragrant cult, it wasn't just the result of her being influenced by what she heard and saw since she was young. It was also the result of Imo Lianqi's instigation, right? It's not just that. Xiaohua opened his eyes and explained, that moon beast was also a little strange. Its 2 fragments affected both I and her to a certain extent. As he spoke, more than 10 male and female cultivators flew over from the mountain range not far away. These cultivators looked a little miserable. Regardless of whether they were male or female, they all had injuries on their bodies. Especially the girl in front. The veil on her face was stained with blood, and her hair was a little messy. Wasn't she Yu Mingxin of the fragrant cult? Looking behind Yu Mingxin, Xiaohua saw Yu Changming, Misty School's Yang Haoya, and Shindao Sect's Wan Wuxin and the others. The 10 cultivators flew in front of Xiaohua and stopped respectfully. They bowed and saluted. Greetings, Taoist Xiao. Xiaohua looked at the injuries on their bodies, and his gaze fell on Yu Mingxin. He opened his mouth and said, Miss you, you're making things difficult for me. -13. Chapter 4164. Hearing Xiaohua's words, Yu Mingxin bit her lips, but she didn't get up. Instead, she lowered her head and said in a hoarse voice, Junior knows this matter is a bit difficult for Senior Xiao. Previously, Senior led the Fortune Gate's disciples to kill the devil race for the Ruins cultivators, but in the end, the Ruins cultivators didn't believe Senior and even wanted to use some underhanded means against the Fortune Gate's disciples. Junior doesn't want to say any more apologetic words. What Junior wants to say is that the Ruins is now in imminent danger. The devil race doesn't dare to invade near the soaring Dragon Mountain range where Senior is, but in other places, the Great Barrier Array has been broken, and a large number of devil race have invaded the ruins. They are building fortifications and occupying transmission arrays, preparing to completely annihilate the ruins' human race. Junior is a member of the human race, and also a cultivator of the ruins. Junior's determination to protect the ruins cannot be changed, just like how Junior sacrificed my essence to save Senior. Now, this Junior, along with Senior Apprentice Brother Chongming, Senior Apprentice Brother Yang Haoya, and Senior Apprentice Brother Huan Wuxin, have been ordered to go to a transmission array not too far away from here in order to ambush the patrolling demon race. Because we happened to pass by here, the sect master brought over some spatial rings and asked this Junior to give them to Senior. Although the sect master didn't say anything, this Junior understood what the sect master meant. This meaning, Senior should also understand. Therefore, Junior came to see Senior for the last time and bring these things to Senior. Saying this, Yu Mingxin took out some spatial rings and sent them to Xiaohua's eyes. Xiaohua looked at the spatial rings in the air, then looked at Yu Changming and the others behind Yu Mingxin and sighed. You all are seriously injured. How can you ambush the devil race? It's more like you're going to throw away your life. There's no other way. Yang Haoya smiled bitterly. We are the human race of the ruins. We have to worry about the life and death of the human race. If our deaths can be exchanged for the devil race's defeat, we are also willing. AI, these are the pills this old man refined. Take some for each of you. Xiaohua sighed and sent some pills to the disciples. Yu Mingxin and the others received the pills and bowed. Many thanks, Senior Xiao. Junior will take his leave. Don't worry. Xiaohua lifted his hand and received the spatial ring. He said, Miss Yu, you've already completed the task that Emolianchi gave you. What this old man wants to tell you is, if you want to live, don't leave the vicinity of the soaring Dragon Mountain range. Thank you for your reminder, Senior. This Junior still has to carry out military orders. Yu Mingxin replied very stubbornly. However, this Junior will be careful. Xiaohua still wanted to say something, but after hearing Yu Mingxin's words, he could only nod and say, just wait and go. If this old man can kill the Devil Emperor, you all won't have to die. You, be careful. Yu Mingxin followed Yu Changming and the others and flew 100 zhang away. He turned his head and looked at Xiaohua's figure in the air. He couldn't help but send a message to Xiaohua. Yes, I know. Xiaohua took a deep breath and lightning flashed all over his body. He suddenly turned into a bolt of lightning and disappeared into the air. The faint sound of thunder rumbled towards the southwest. Teske. Huan Wuxin smacked his lips and said enviously, Taoist Master Zhao's cultivation is becoming more and more unpredictable. I wonder when we'll be able to have such supernatural powers. Let's go and kill the devil race first. Yang Haoya couldn't hide the envy in his eyes. He said, only by driving away the devil race will we be able to cultivate in peace. Xiaohua flew for a long time and then released his divine sense. He saw that in the skies above the southwest border, the flames were still as red as before. He didn't see any special devil chi or blood-red light. Even under this fiery red sky, there were very few devil race and humans fighting. It was as if the devil array had forgotten about this sad land. But the more it was like this, the more Xiaohua's heart tightened. He was too familiar with the devil race's diversion tactic. If the devil race didn't have some tricks up their sleeves in the southwest border, how could they not attack here? At this time, Xiaohua was a little surprised. He could see through the Devil Emperor's tricks. The cultivators of ruins had fought with the Devil Emperor for hundreds of years. How could they not see through it? However, in a moment, Xiaohua laughed secretly again. He spent dozens of days of divination. The cultivators of the discussion hall didn't have this great supernatural power. How could they know to set up defenses in the southwest border? Damn it, I was a little impulsive earlier. Xiaohua was quite regretful. I should have told Wufei about this. Now that I've come alone, I'm going to fight the 3 Devil Emperors alone. While speaking, Xiaohua reached out and took out the ruins communication magic tool from the space. This was what the discussion hall had given to Sunwu that day. He didn't have time to take it back later. Xiaohua stopped and activated his magic power. He opened the communication magic tool. light flashed, and a messy image of fire and blood appeared. At the same time, a cultivator with a pale face appeared in the mirror. This cultivator looked at Xiao Hua in bewilderment. Suddenly, he came to a realization and said in pleasant surprise, "Taoist Master Xiao, is there something you need?" "The southwest border," Xiao Hua said concisely. "That's the main point of the Devil Emperor's attack. You and the others increased the defenses here." "Yes," that cultivator hurriedly responded, but then he said hesitantly, "But, Taoist Master Xiao, I won't hide it from you. I and the others have received a lot of information. They've spread to almost every part of ruins. When we activated the realm-protecting Great Formation, we also sent out even more disciples. However, it's obvious that almost half of the information is fake. We've been lured away by the Devil Race's plan. Many places have been broken through by the Devil Race. Yes, I've already heard that the Devil Race has attacked ruins. However, this doesn't count for anything. As long as we kill the Devil Emperor, the Devil Race will definitely retreat." Xiao Hua said hurriedly, "Previously, this Xiao has already used a divine ability to divine. This southwest is the breakthrough point of the Devil Race's attack." "I understand." That cultivator's spirit shook. He bowed and said, "So Taoist Master Xiao was using a great divine ability earlier. We misunderstood. Taoist Master, please wait a moment. This one will pass the information down right now." After saying that, the light of the communication magic tool disappeared. Xiao Hua put away the magic tool and teleported to the front of the realm-protecting Great Formation. At this time, the flames of the Great Formation were heavy, burning the void until it was distorted. Waves of violent and disorderly aura drifted back and forth in the flames. Just as Xiao Hua approached, those countless flames seemed to have sensed something and rushed towards Xiao Hua's head. A kind of high temperature that could burn all things hit him in the face. Xiao Hua might not be afraid of this Great Formation, but he still retreated 300 meters and said loudly, "I wonder which fellow Taoist is guarding this place. I, Xiao Hua, am here to help." "Ha ha ha, Taoist Master Xiao, you really came." In the distance, a hearty laughter sounded. Then, a group of fireflies appeared in the flames and rushed over from the distance. At the place where the fireflies stopped, Yun Che's figure poked out of the flames. Xiao Hua did not dare to be negligent. He flew up and asked, "How is the situation?" "Very good," Yun Che said with a smile. The Devil Emperor was beaten to a pulp by the Fortune Gate at the southwest border. They are extremely afraid. This time, they actually avoided the important matters and dared not to waste too much of their forces here. Therefore, I also have a rare moment of leisure. How could it be so simple? Xiao Hua said cautiously, "The Devil Emperor is the best at creating a diversion. This Xiao feels that the southwest border is the Devil Emperor's true focus." Yun Che was a little dumbfounded. He hurriedly asked in a low voice, "Could it be that Taoist Master thinks that thing is here? Is the fire and earth magnetic field something that your Shindao sect wants?" Xiao Hua did not dare to hide and ask directly. Yun Che shook his head. "There is a fire and earth magnetic field under Mount Yong'an. This Yun knows. This thing is useful to Mount Yong'an, but it is useless to my Shindao sect." Xiao Hua did not want to explain and said, "This Xiao obtained it through divination. This Xiao has already informed the conference hall. They will probably send reinforcements very soon." Yun Che's eyes lit up when he heard this. He gave out orders and said in surprise, "Taoist Master really surprises this Yun. The divine ability of the Moon God Palace's priests is actually something that Taoist Master can understand. This is really inconceivable." After giving out orders, Yun Che took out a cloud-shaped crystal plate and handed it to Xiao Hua, saying, "Taoist Master, wear this on your body and you will be able to freely enter and exit the Great Formation." "Okay." Xiao Hua took the crystal plate. Just as he put it on his body, the crystal plate immediately produced fiery threads that wrapped around Xiao Hua's body. At the same time, sparks also scattered from the Great Formation. These sparks were different from the flames from before. They were filled with a kind of gentleness. When the sparks and the fiery threads merged together, a feeling of perfect harmony was born from Xiao Hua's perception. It was as if the entire Great Formation had become one with him. "Fellow Taoists, A curtain of fire also appeared around Yunche's body and covered Yunche's body. He slowly flew into the great formation. Yunche opened his mouth and said, "Please follow this Yun into the formation. First, familiarize yourself with the great formation. This Yun will discuss with fellow Taoists how to protect it." Okay. Xiao Hua nodded. He moved his body and slowly merged into the great formation. That comfortable feeling surrounded his body, just like what Xiao Hua saw when he passed through the earth, fire, wind, and lightning. The great formation of the world of ruins was divided into many layers. The formation of each layer was very different. There were many treasures embedded in each layer that were like the stars in the sky. They acted as the eye of the formation and provided the formation with the vital energy of heaven and earth and the necessary means of attack. There were even many cultivators hidden in specific places on each layer. They activated the formation to defend or attack according to the command of the person guarding the formation. Although Xiao Hua's cultivation was at the Great Ascension stage, it was still wishful thinking for him to break through the Great Formation from the front. After looking at the Great Formation situation, Xiao Hua and Yunche discussed a little more about how to defend this place against the crazy attacks of the Devil Monarch. The two of them moved again and flew out of the Great Formation. Before they could fly out, they heard the faint sounds of fighting, rumbling, and the frightening cries of devil beasts. The devil race must be attacking, Xiao Hua thought as he increased his speed. However, just as Xiao Hua escaped the flames of the Great Formation, before he could even release his divine sense to investigate anything, a feeling of extreme fear rose from the bottom of his heart. -13. Chapter 4165. Damn it! Xiao Hua's expression changed. This familiar fear made him see the crisis in front of him, and it also made him suddenly understand a lot. The Demon Emperor is too cunning. No wonder they only sent the Demon Monarch to participate in the war with the cultivators of the ruins over the past few months. They didn't show up at all. It turns out that it's not that they disdain to fight with Dao transformation cultivators. It's that they're worried about the murder devil saber in my hand. They've been lying in ambush here for several months, waiting for me to show up here. They'll kill me in one fell swoop and work together to obtain the murder devil saber. They'll eliminate the last obstacle to attacking the ruins. But Xiao Hua was a little confused again. How did they know that I would definitely come to the southwest? If I didn't know the art of divination and knew that the southwest border was a dangerous place, they would have rushed to the southwest. That's why they hurriedly rushed to the southwest. Wouldn't that mean that they were waiting for nothing? Alas, success is due to divination, and failure is also due to divination. Xiao Hua seemed to have understood something, just like Juxia's expression when he saw Xiao Hua take out the grain seed in Million Mountain Meng. His appearance here was both a cause and an effect. It was impossible to say clearly what the cause and effect was. Thinking of this, Xiao Hua's figure did not hesitate to escape toward the realm-protecting Great Array. Unfortunately, a burst of crazy sobbing sound came out of nowhere. Just below Xiao Hua, in the realm-protecting Great Array, thousands of thumb-sized bubbles suddenly appeared in the layers of crimson flames. These bubbles instantly burst, and wisps of flickering silver-black devil light rushed out from within. As soon as these devil light flashed, they immediately disappeared into the void. Above Xiao Hua's head, millions of silver-black light spots appeared in the devil formation that looked like a monster pressing down. As these light spots flickered, Xiao Hua felt that the entire space had an indescribable fluctuation. Sure enough, when Xiao Hua's figure fell into the realm-protecting Great Array, an extremely thin layer of restriction blocked his figure. Damn it! Xiao Hua cursed and scanned with his divine sense, but he saw that this strange restriction did not block his divine sense. Moreover, Xiao Hua's magic power and other things did not change in this space. At this time, Xiao Hua's heart calmed down a bit. Unfortunately, just as Xiao Hua felt relieved, huge black lightning bolts whistled from the surroundings of the demonic array, covering several tens of thousands of kilometers of space. Amidst these lightning bolts, 3 huge demonic figures came out of the demonic array, holding demonic artifacts. Right in front of Xiao Hua was the first Devil Emperor he had met. At this moment, the Devil Emperor was vastly different from before. His head was like a star, flashing with a jewel-like brilliance. Several black holes were flowing with filthy blood and flashing black light. They looked like the 7 apertures of a human. From the black light, one could see a hint of mockery and arrogance. Above the huge demonic body, waves of silver-black demonic chi condensed into demonic seals. These demonic seals were flowing with blood-red demonic patterns. The demonic patterns overflowed around the Devil Emperor's body, and from time to time, cracks identical to the demonic patterns would appear in the void. Sparkling blood-red threads would seep out from the cracks and fall into the demonic patterns. Apart from demonic seals, the Devil Emperor's demonic body was also covered in blood flames formed by the demonic blood mixed with demonic flames. These blood flames were also divided into different regions, and within each region, there were blood demons of different shapes. The blood demons of the same region were not biting and devouring each other, but the blood demons of different regions were also devouring each other with their blood flames. There were 3 demonic arms formed from white bones around the Devil Emperor's body. One of the demonic arms was empty, while the other 2 were holding 2 huge demonic hammers. They were also flashing with a strange blood-red light, indicating that they were different from other demonic artifacts. At first glance, these demonic hammers were several hundred meters in size. When they were swung, the surrounding void would rapidly tremble. The demonic hammers were covered with skeletal patterns, and there were also traces of demonic patterns between the skeletal patterns. The demonic patterns on the 2 demonic hammers were somewhat different. One of the demonic patterns revealed the shape of a huge mountain ridge, and an incomparably vigorous aura was emitted from the demonic hammer. The other demonic pattern revealed endless strange thunderbolts. These thunderbolts were formed by the demonic heads, and they were incomparably strange and solemn as they were emitted from the fine patterns. The 2 demonic hammers were like demonic artifacts, but at the same time, they were not. Clearly, they were here to deal with the demonic saber murder. Not only that, the empty demonic arm of the Devil Emperor was silver-black in color, which was different from the previous demonic arms. The Devil Emperor's lower body had several mountain-like legs. At this moment, the legs of the Devil Emperor produced pitch-black thunderbolts. These thunderbolts were different from Xiao Hua's lightning arts, and they were filled with berserk violence. Looking at the other 2 Devil Emperors, they were the 2 Devil Emperors that Xiao Hua had met in the Misty School of Pingjiang. However, at this moment, the 2 Devil Emperors were also different from before. Both of them were 100,000 feet tall. One of the Devil Emperors was covered in a demonic armor. The armor was silver-gray in color, and there were tens of millions of demonic spots condensed on it. The demonic spots emitted sizzling sounds, and layers of black chi corroded the void. The pair of demonic wings on the back of this Devil Emperor was also 100,000 feet long. There were no feathers on the wings, and instead, they were filled with bone spikes. Between the bone spikes, there were howling, wandering souls. As the demonic wings flapped, dense demonic chi would spread in the air, and heart-wrenching cries would be emitted from the demonic wings. What made Xiao Hua dizzy the most was the demonic horn on the forehead of this Devil Emperor. This horn was incomparably black, and when his gaze landed on it, he couldn't see its specific shape. It was either in the shape of a sword spike or a pagoda. Occasionally, he could even see the image of a Buddha lord on the horn. The demonic arm of the Devil Emperor that stretched out from the demonic armor was also emitting dense demonic chi. It was holding a huge demonic spear. This demonic spear was different from the other demonic weapons. It was grayish-white in color, and its entire body seemed to be refined by several huge bone dragons. Several white bones intertwined together, and at the tip of the spear, it transformed into a huge dragon head. In addition to the grayish-white brilliance, there was also a faint black chi. This black chi came from the dragon horn of the dragon head. This black chi was different from the black chi around the Devil Emperor. It had a kind of sacred and strange feeling. The dragon horn was naturally the tip of the demonic spear. As the demonic arm of the Devil Emperor waved, dark red demonic patterns appeared on the surface of the demonic spear. The demonic patterns overflowed, and a mysterious aura rushed into the dragon horn of the bone dragon. As for the other Devil Emperor, he was no longer a headless celestial being. Now, He was 100,000 feet tall bone bird. This bone bird spread its wings, and tens of thousands of feet of black chi rushed out from the white bones, covering the entire space. Between the 100 zhang long bones of the bone bird, numerous pitch-black thunderbolts that were even thicker than a child's arm were flickering with each other. An aura of an ancient, desolate overlord was emitted from these white bones that were still alive even though they were dead. It mixed with the devilish nature of the devilish aura, forming a devilish wave that filled the sky, surging and pouncing towards Xiaohua. In the bones of the bone bird that were covered with demonic patterns, there was an extremely faint golden light flowing. Golden-winged great-peng bone bird? Xiaohua was the one who paid the most attention to this strange zombie race. Seeing the might of this bone bird and the fear of its natural enemy coming from the dragon vein, Xiaohua immediately came to a realization. His heart tightened and he cried out in his heart, "Not good. These 3 demon emperors came prepared. Holy shit, they haven't just been recuperating for the past decade or so. They've been looking for a way to kill me. Even if all of my avatars come out now, I'm afraid I won't be a match for them." Xiaohua turned his head to look at Yunche while he was pondering. However, he saw that the distant Yunche's face was also pale. He had been guarding this great formation all this time, but he never thought that the Devil Monarch had secretly set up a trap at some point in time. He really didn't know where to put his face. "Yunche." Xiaohua looked at Yunche indifferently and asked, "What's going on? Don't you want to give me a reason?" Yunche smiled bitterly and shook his head. "Spiritual Master Xiao, what reason do I have to give you?" As he spoke, Yunche looked at the sky full of thunderbolts. He raised his hand and slapped his forehead. Streams of heaven and earth origin energy turned into tornadoes and rushed into his body. His entire body seemed to inflate like a balloon, and a 5-colored shadow of a primordial spirit flickered in his body like a candle. Rumble. Without waiting for Yunche's nascent spirit image to form, Xiaohua rubbed his hands together, and several seals directly turned into thousands of thunderbolts that fell into the void. Huge thunderclaps came from high up in the sky, and layers of tree-shaped thunderbolts soared into the sky like a jade wave. Those jade waves were filled with faint clouds, and it looked as if they were not inferior to the black thunderbolts that fell from the devil formation. Sure enough, the black thunderbolts collided with Xiaohua's thunderbolts in the space of tens of thousands of kilometers. An earth-shaking explosion was born between the 2 kinds of thunderbolts. That black thunderbolt suddenly rolled back, but it only rushed up 100 meters before it fell back down with a loud bang. Although Xiaohua was thin and weak, he had an extremely tall figure. Then, he suddenly raised his hands. Woo! The domain that covered his body instantly expanded, and the entire domain was filled with popping sounds. The void within 10,000 kilometers was boiling. Immediately, the thunderbolts that were suppressed by the devil formation's thunderbolts roared crazily again. 2 layers of thunderbolts rolled in the void as if the sky was collapsing. The void thousands of meters away whimpered, and the black and white brilliance were like small snakes. Between the light and the darkness, all the lightning was swallowed by the void, leaving only a layer of chaotic void cracks that were at least 3,000 meters wide that were either expanding, twisting, or slowly mending. Looking at Xiaohua again, his face was somewhat pale. Obviously, the domain that he had just used to resist the devil formation and the 3 great devil emperors was somewhat beyond his ability. Although Yunche had somewhat overestimated Xiaohua's divine ability, he still couldn't help but be shocked when he saw Xiaohua's boundless magic power. However, he only hesitated for a moment. His nascent spirit image didn't stop, and it continued to fly toward the spatial cracks in the sky. Fellow Taoist Yun. Seeing that the 3 devil emperors were about to come, Xiaohua shouted in shock. "Go and inform Lu Wuxia and the other fellow Taoists. These 3 devil emperors are backed by a devil formation, and we are definitely not their match if we fight them alone. We must rely on the Great Realm Barrier formation to resist them." Yes. Yunche hesitated for a moment and looked at Xiaohua with a complicated gaze. Then, a trace of gratitude appeared in his eyes, and he instantly flew toward Lu Wuxia's direction. -13. Chapter 4166. When Xiao Hua saw that Yun Che had left, he looked at the devil formation in the distance that looked like dark clouds pressing down on his head. He also looked at the seemingly endless fire formation beneath his feet. After that, his gaze fell on the countless pillars of blood in the air, and the human cultivators and devils fighting each other inside the flames around the pillars of blood. Xiao Hua retracted his gaze, thought for a moment, and took out the Kunlun mirror. In the flickering light, Dragon Vein Xiao Hua, Phoenix Body Xiao Hua, Bone Tempering Xiao Hua, Devil Spirit Xiao Hua, Green Robed Xiao Hua, Soul Cultivator Xiao Hua, Confucian Cultivator Xiao Hua, Buddha Bodhi, and Sun Tian flew out. As soon as the avatars appeared, they immediately understood Xiao Hua's thoughts. Dragon Vein Xiao Hua dodged the golden-winged Great Peng Bone Bird and pounced on the first Devil Emperor with Buddha Bodhi and Bone Tempering Xiao Hua. He shouted, "Wuma Devil Emperor, come and report your name. I will fight you." Haha, you are just a few avatars, yet you are so arrogant. The Demon Emperor revealed the origin of Dragon Vein Xiao Hua and waved his devil hammer. Although his pillar-like body was already close to the spatial fault filled with spatial cracks, he still laughed loudly and said, "I am the Emperor of the horned, armored race. Who are you waiting for?" "I am Ho, I am a Deva, Monk Bodhi." The three avatars were not surprised. Each of them grew to 10,000 feet in size and pounced on the spatial fault. Dragon Vein Xiao Hua left, the scholarly cultivator Xiao Hua, the green-robed Xiao Hua, and the demonic spirit Xiao Hua exchanged a glance, and they too rushed toward the second demonic spear-wielding Demon Emperor. They shouted, "Demon Emperor Wu Na, come and report your name. This humble Taoist will fight with you." "Haha, I am the Dragon Armor Race's Emperor Ho." The winged Devil Emperor was the same size. The devil horn on his forehead flashed at the same time as the devil horn on his devil spear. The Devil Emperor waved his devil spear and instantly pierced a hole in the void that was thousands of feet long. His body flashed across the void as he shouted arrogantly, "Who are you?" "Little Shang Wenchu." Confucian Xiao Hua raised his hand and pointed. The other two beside him shouted, "This is thunder and slaughter. We will send you to the afterlife." Afterlife? Wang Jin was a little puzzled, but he didn't ask any questions. He flapped his wings, and a layer of faint black gas mixed with blood-red light covered the sky. A demonic blood realm was like a fishing net, trying to control the three doppelgangers. The soul cultivator Xiao Hua raised his head and looked at the golden-winged giant Peng Bone Bird, whose aura was oppressive. Green light flashed in his eyes, and indescribable waves of energy spread out from his body. At the same time, his body suddenly expanded, and he shouted, "Demon Emperor, could it be that you only know how to borrow the shells of other races? Do you have your own name?" "I am Huang Qi of the zombie race." The Demon Emperor's voice was sharp like a bird's chirp. "This emperor only needs to kill you. I don't care what body I'm using." Then, Huang Xiyuan glanced at Dragon Vein Xiao Hua and sneered, "If you are not afraid, why don't you dare to fight with this emperor? Such a cowardly person. Why are you talking to me about borrowing?" "Ha ha ha. Fellow Taoist dragon bloodline, there's no need to fight." Soul cultivator Xiao Hua shouted, "I, the shaman, and fellow Taoist Phoenix Parasol can kill you. Ha ha ha. Aren't you afraid of losing your teeth?" Huang Xiyuan laughed even harder. "Do you know what it means to boast shamelessly? With just the two of you, how can you be a match for this emperor? What if I join you?" Sun Jian didn't quite understand at first, but after Xiao Hua's voice transmission, he understood the situation in front of him. Brandishing his three-pointed, double-edged sword, he flew to Xiao Hua's side and coldly said. At this time, his primordial spirit doppelganger had already been deployed. The light golden 10,000-meter-long doppelganger was draped in battle armor, and a surge of righteous and upright Confucian aura emanated from it, causing Huang Xiyuan's heart to tremble. "Die!" Phoenix Parasol Xiao Hua's eyes flashed with cold light, and the power of the stars and moon around him was activated, forming an armor of stars and moon around his body, firmly protecting his body. At the same time, his tens of thousands of meter-long wings spread out with an aura that blotted out the sky and covered the sun. As he waved his wings, Countless waves of air surged and ferociously pounced on Huang Xuan's golden-winged giant Peng Bone bird. His sharp phoenix claws were pressed tightly against the bird's abdomen, ready to strike at any moment. Seeing Phoenix Parasol move, Xiao Hua's body flickered as well. Millions upon millions of soul strands streaked across the sky, forming a complete soul cultivator Xiao Hua near the fault in space. At the same time, Xiao Hua opened his mouth, and a series of earth-shattering sounds of heaven and earth came out of his mouth. Then, the entire space shook, and the essence of heaven and earth flowed out of a mysterious location and into the enormous green seal script, emitting an indescribable power of heaven and earth. Kachacha. Layers of 3 corpses in lightning emerged from the fault in space, forming a new fortress that pounced on Demon Emperor Siyuan. At this moment, the Demon Emperor Cui had already leaped across space and entered the spatial fault. The spatial crack that could tear an ordinary cultivator into pieces was instantly swept away by the Demon Emperor Cui's bony wings. Moreover, the moment the Demon Emperor Cui charged through the spatial fault, pitch-black thunderbolts appeared all over its body. Rumble. Continuous roars rang out as fist-sized thunderbolts fell like raindrops, smashing into the lightning waves of the 3 corpses in lightning. When the pitch-black thunderbolts came into contact with the jade-green lightning waves, it was like an ink brush falling into a jade pool, instantly dyeing the pool black. Moreover, the 2 different types of thunderbolts tore open the space within 1,000 miles once again, causing gusts of air and waves that had nowhere to go to spread out in all directions. Kacha. Amidst the waves of thunderbolts, Feng Wu's body soared into the sky, passing through the lightning. She flapped her wings, and the baleful wind sealed the space within 1,000 miles. However, the space within 1,000 miles was unable to contain Feng Wu's unparalleled demonic power. PFFF, 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 PFFF. A series of explosions sounded out as she pounced on Demon Emperor Siyuan. Kacha. Demon Emperor Sun's golden-winged great rock let out a raspy bird cry as it swooped down with its wings. There were no ripples, and demon chi filled the air within 1,000 miles. Moreover, when the great rock's wings pounced into the baleful wind, white bones rushed out of the demon chi like waves and pierced into every ruptured space. Hiss, 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 hiss. A series of strange noises sounded out. Before the noises stopped, the golden-winged great rock had already collided with Feng Wu. Boom! A huge explosion sounded out, and the light within 1,000 miles shook and flickered. Everything became distorted and unreal. Amidst the distortion, Feng Wu's huge body was sent flying by Demon Emperor Siyuan. Kacha. Feng Wu let out a sorrowful cry. At the moment of impact, Feng Wu's star moon armor was torn apart by Demon Emperor Siyuan's bony claws. Her chest was also torn into a bloody mess. Her demonic body that had been refined for 10,000 years was still unable to withstand the ferocity of the golden-winged great rock. Not only that, Feng Wu's wings were also covered in wounds. Demon Emperor Siyuan's wings had turned into tens of millions of bone swords when he fought. Although Feng Wu's wings were equally powerful, she was still at a disadvantage. However, the golden-winged great rock's bony body was also flipped upside down by Feng Wu's attack. Its chest was crushed by Feng Wu's claws, and a pitch-black demon chi flowed out of the huge hole. It had to be said that Demon Emperor Siyuan's plan was absolutely successful. The golden-winged great rock he found this time was far beyond the reach of the heavenly phoenix. Bzzz. Just as Demon Emperor Sun's body was tumbling in the air, another loud screech came from behind him. Demon Emperor Siyuan was shocked. His bony bird head abruptly turned around, and those pitch-black eyes of his flickered with a scarlet color. He saw that the Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua, who was still high up in the sky, had unknowingly teleported behind him. The hundreds of green seal characters in the sky emitted a bewitching green light. These green seal characters shattered and reformed, transforming into a huge soul sword amidst the cries of gods and ghosts. The sword aura pierced through the sky and landed behind his head. The soul sword was like a mirage, both real and illusory. The edges of the soul sword crackled with dark green lightning. Demon Emperor Siyuan didn't dare to be careless. Numerous beams of blood-red light shot out from his skull, and a ghost head shield appeared. Devilish runes covered the ghost head, and pitch-black lightning crackled between the runes. Pooh! The soul sword fell, and the ghost head barrier immediately turned to dust. The sword force was like a rainbow as it landed on the demon Emperor Qiong's bones. Shwa! Like the wind blowing snow, although the bones did not change, the blood, astral body, and devil flame immediately rushed out from the dark cracks in the bones. The blood, astral body, and devil flame were shattered by the soul sword and scattered into the air. The demon Emperor Qiong's bones twitched rapidly in the air as if it had been severely injured. Delighted, Xiao Hua blurted out another mouthful of green seal text. However, it was at this point that Sun Jian's voice suddenly rang out. "Be careful, fellow Taoist." Golden light flashed as the three-pointed, double-edged saber slashed through the air toward Devil Emperor Qiong. Golden light flashed, and a pillar of energy shot out from within it. Soul Cultivator Xiao Hua was shocked. His body flashed, but just as he was about to move, tens of millions of bone swords appeared out of thin air like a folding fan. Each bone sword flashed with a blue luster. Hundreds of bone swords pierced into Xiao Hua's 10,000 zhang tall avatar. Damn it! Xiao Hua's face fell. He waved his hand, and a jade-green brush appeared in midair. Swish, swish, swish. The brush swish, swish. As it waved, the bone swords began to glow with a faint green light. Thick life force began to spread throughout the bone swords like poison. Ha ha ha. The ancient shamans are nothing more than this. The demon Emperor Siyuan laughed heartily. Devil energy began to surge from the bone swords, and they began to choke off the sprouts. Unfortunately, the power of life and death was such that 30% of the bone swords couldn't withstand it, and they crumbled into dust. Woo! As the demon Emperor Siyuan blocked Xiao Hua's attack, he reached out with his other bone claw. This bone claw was different from the other, and its edges were tinged with faint golden threads. Clang! The three-pointed, two-edged blade was sent flying away from the bone claw, and although Sun Jian had sent tens of thousands of beams of energy at him, he couldn't stop the demon Emperor's attack. As the three-pointed, two-edged blade flew away, and Sun Jian's body shot up into the air. -13. Chapter 4167. In just a few moments, Soul Cultivator Xiao Hua, Phoenix Body Xiao Hua, and Sun Jian besieged Demon Emperor Qi but failed to kill him. Instead, Demon Emperor Qi was at a disadvantage. The Demon Emperor of the Demon World was as strong as Wen Chu, who was at the 9th level of Origin Energy. If Demon Emperor Qi was so hard to defeat, then Demon Emperor Qi was even harder to defeat. Dragon Bloodline Xiao Hua dodged the golden-winged Great Peng Bone Bird and pounced towards the Demon Emperor Ho. Dragon Bloodline Xiao Hua mumbled something and cast the Heavenly Dragon Speech Technique. Waves of heaven and earth yuan qi condensed into crystal threads and stubbornly rushed out from the void sealed by the demonic array. Then, they condensed into strange dragon patterns that covered 1,000 miles around. Then, the 9-colored dragon horns on Dragon Bloodline Xiao Hua's forehead emitted a mesmerizing halo. It was like a bugle horn that was raised to charge. The dragon patterns that covered 1,000 miles around were like thousands of soldiers and horses, releasing dragon roars as they pounced towards the Demon Emperor Ho. The 1,000-li-long dragon marks were like a torrential river. Each dragon mark contained a great amount of power. If they were in a normal place, they could destroy a mountain. However, Demon Emperor Qi didn't seem to panic when he saw the dragon marks rushing over. He opened his bloody mouth and a river of blood flowed like a waterfall towards the dragon marks. However, the river of blood couldn't compare to the dragon marks. At first contact, blood splashed everywhere, and the army was utterly defeated. This is interesting. Watch this Emperor's method. Demon Emperor Qi's voice sounded like he was sobbing. Then, his demonic arm that wasn't holding the demonic hammer waved in the air. The silver-black light on his demonic arm flickered slightly as if it was breathing. Then, strange fluctuations appeared in the void. With these fluctuations, The power of the river of blood changed drastically. Every strand of blood gave birth to a demonic head. This demonic head was different from the previous demonic heads. Not only was it emitting a silver-black light, but it also had pitch-black lightning in its mouth. The previous demonic heads that were easily killed by the dragon marks now pounced on the dragon marks crazily and opened their mouths to devour the dragon marks. When the dragon marks entered the demonic head's body, the demonic head's body suddenly expanded. It actually turned into a demonic head with a dragon body. Dragon Vein Xiaohua turned pale with fright, and the rhythm of the heavenly dragon speech technique increased. Boom, boom, boom. The dragon marks that were swallowed into the devil heads exploded one after another, and the remaining dragon marks suddenly cracked open, and millions of cracks connected together and slashed towards the devil emperor Qi. These cracks were not the same as a horned dragon, but were comparable to a horned dragon. Wherever they went, all the devil heads were swept clean, and even the blood devil heads that were emitting a silver-black light were annihilated in just a moment. Seeing how powerful the splitting dragon marks were, Demon Emperor Qi's body suddenly moved. It was still that silver-black demonic arm. Pa! It slapped the void. With a crisp sound, demonic marks rushed out of the void. These demonic marks let out a thunderous roar. Then, a large area of the void cracked. Everything within a range of hundreds to thousands of miles was shattered into pieces. Another huge explosion sounded. The space fragments and the void cracks collided. See, Dragon Bloodline Xiaohua sucked in a breath of cold air. He looked at Demon Emperor Qi's demonic arm in disbelief. This demonic arm's divine ability was really far from the divine ability of the demonic race that he had imagined. Boom! While Dragon Bloodline Xiaohua was still in shock, a bronze figure appeared on his left hand. A strong aura of desolation rushed out, and bone-tempering Xiaohua broke through the air. Bone-tempering Xiaohua also had a body of 10,000 zhang, but bone-tempering Xiaohua looked more majestic than the other doppelgangers. As his huge palm moved, thousands of spatial cracks appeared, and the light and shadow within several li turned into shadows and fell into the bronze hand. Woo! The wind from the fist streaked across the sky, making a strange whistling sound. At this time, a demonic pillar coincidentally appeared from the void, and seemed to be about to break into the protective formation below bone-tempering Xiaohua. However, the moment this demonic pillar touched bone-tempering Xiaohua's fist, the seemingly invisible demonic pillar was instantly swept away. The devils and demons inside didn't even have time to cry out before they were killed, leaving no trace behind. After killing the demons, bone-tempering Xiaohua's fist didn't stop at all. It still rushed towards Demon Emperor Qi faster than a meteor. Good timing. I have been waiting for this attack for a long time. Demon Emperor Qi was so heroic that he didn't seem like a demon. He roared and waved his arms. One of the demonic hammers also whimpered and struck out. What was special was that Demon Emperor Qi's demonic arm was not only overflowing with blood and demonic qi, but also surging with dark demonic patterns. The mountain-like shape on the demonic hammer actually flew out and suspended outside the demonic hammer. Although the demonic hammer wasn't big, the area covered by the demonic patterns was huge. The demonic hammer carried the mountain-like flowing light and quickly rushed in front of bone-tempering Xiaohua's fist. Bang! A loud sound rang out. Just the sound wave alone opened up the space within 1,000 miles. A series of spatial cracks appeared once again. Even under the power of karma, half of the mountains and thunderbolts on the demonic hammer were destroyed. It was also at this moment that Devil Emperor Qi's demonic arm fell into the void and appeared right in front of the Red Lotus. With a poof, the demonic arm plunged into the Red Lotus. Amidst the rumbling, thousands of eerie white bones grew out of the Red Lotus. Although each of the white bones was quickly reduced to ashes by the karmic fire, the white bones surged out crazily and covered the entire Red Lotus in no time. The entire Red Lotus instantly expanded. Boom! With a loud sound, the Red Lotus of karmic fire was shattered by the demonic arm, and it turned into karmic fire and dissipated in the air. The Demon Emperor's 2 demonic hammers did not slow down, and they were still rushing toward Buddha Bodhi. Buddha Bodhi's eyes were filled with compassion, and he slowly raised his right hand, and in a flash, he pointed at the air. At this point, the Buddha's light that soared into the sky was like a brilliant sunrise, and the demon chi within 1,000 miles disappeared in an instant. Moreover, the demonic runes on the two demonic hammers were also pierced by the Buddha's light, and countless demons were born, and their eyes were pierced by the Buddha's light, and they howled crazily. Not to mention these low-level devils, even Devil Emperor Chi was injured by Buddha Bodhi's finger. Blood instantly flowed out of his black eye sockets, and the bloodstains all over his body were also filled with anguished wails. He cursed, "Damn it!" Then, he quickly put away his twin hammers and wanted to be respectful again. However, at this moment, on the other side of his body, a golden light flashed, and a huge dragon tail slashed through the void and pounced on his back. It was Dragon Vein Xiaohua who had seen the opportunity and was going to kill him with the most fatal blow. The 5 avatars and Sun Jian surrounded Huang Qi of the Choujia race and Huang Qi of the zombie race, but they did not have an absolute advantage. They were even forced into a disadvantageous position by the 2 demon emperors who came prepared. Looking at the scholarly cultivator Xiaohua, the green-robed Xiaohua, and the demon spirit Xiaohua who attacked first, they were also in a passive position. Their opponent was Demon Emperor Qi of the Mayfly race. Earlier, Demon Emperor Qi was injured by Xiaohua's demonic saber, and now that he saw the demon spirit Xiaohua flying into the sky and transforming into a huge demonic body, he could not help but be shocked. Of course, facing demon spirit Xiaohua whose demonic body was clearly weaker than his, Demon Emperor Qi had an innate feeling of superiority. He waved his demonic spear and urged his wings to break through the void. The black chi mixed with the bloody light enveloped the void. It enveloped the scholarly cultivator Xiaohua. -13. Chapter 4168. Seeing such devilish energy, Confucian cultivator Xiaohua sneered and opened his mouth. Woo! 5-colored sword light soared into the sky, and his right hand flashed with the aura of the 3 flowers as he raised his hand. Buzz buzz! The sword light condensed in Confucian cultivator Xiaohua's hand, and then Confucian cultivator Xiaohua fiercely waved it. Swoosh! The sword light flashed, and the all-encompassing black energy and bloody light were split in half by this glaring sword light. Moreover, the awe-inspiring energy within the sword light did not stop. It surged in all directions, and wherever it went, all the demonic energy and blood-red light turned into green smoke and disappeared. Jiji. At this time, Devil Emperor Qi was not as shocked as when he was injured by the devil blade. He spread his wings again, and the bone dragon spear in his devil arm flashed with a pitch-black brilliance. With a hoarse dragon roar, bloody light gushed out of the devil arm, and the bone dragon spear soared into the sky. Like several huge dragons, the white bones were like waves, and the indescribable dragon energy was like lightning, fiercely stabbing towards Confucian cultivator Xiaohua. Dragon, no matter in which realm, was synonymous with a kind of powerhouse. Hidden Immortal Continent was like this, and Moon God Realm was also like this. Even if it was the bones of a fallen dragon, when used at this time, it would make the powerhouses of the 3 realms bow their heads. The indescribable aura of the bone dragon forced the distant dragon vein Xiaohua to tremble all over. Clearly, this aura was of a higher level than the dragon domain. Not only that, the tip of the bone dragon spear was a dragon horn with 3 bodies and 1 dragon bone. There was a dot of pitch black on it, and it seemed to give off a fluctuation that did not exist in the moon god realm. Any light that fell into this spear tip would not be able to escape. Almost silently, the bone dragon spear passed through space, and instantly stabbed towards Confucian cultivator Xiaohua's face. The blood-red devil patterns also annihilated the righteous energy that filled the sky at the same time. Confucian cultivator Xiaohua was shocked, and the flying sword in his hand hurriedly slashed back. Just as the golden light streaked across the sky and was about to fall on the devil spear, the devil spear suddenly trembled, and the entire bone dragon strangely shrank back. With a loud dang, the dragon horn actually touched Confucian cultivator Xiaohua's flying sword. It had to be said that Devil Emperor Qi's fighting prowess far surpassed that of Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua. The timing of this spear strike was incomparably precise. Soul cultivator Xiao Hua's flying sword was completely incapable of withstanding the Devil Spear's attack. A boom rang out, and the flying sword shattered into tiny fragments that floated down into the air. Immediately after, the Bone Dragon Spear displayed its might once more. It passed by the flying sword-shattering firefly and suddenly pierced into the face of the Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua. Even someone as strong as the scholarly cultivator Xiao Hua had fear in his eyes when he faced the remnant might of the nameless ancient bone dragon. That awe-inspiring and fearless aura had already disappeared in the face of strength. Puff! At this critical moment, Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua opened his mouth and 9 small cauldrons flew out with a rumbling sound. A vast aura of destiny that seemed to be the prosperity of the entire human race appeared and blocked in front of the dragon's spear. In just a short moment, the tip of the dragon's spear emitted a black light that could destroy Providence. Once again, it broke through the 9 cauldrons' encirclement. Swish! The 9 cauldrons barely gave Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua a chance to survive. At this moment, the faint sound of a blade's edge resounded. The black light that swept through the entire horizon struck towards Devil Emperor Qi's back at lightning speed. Devil Spirit Xiao Hua, who had been accumulating power all this time, had finally made his move. Devil Blade Murder was indeed extraordinary. Wherever the blade light passed, the entire space seemed to be split into 2 halves. An aura that was even more bloody than the demonic array swept out. Haha! Devil Emperor Qi seemed to have been waiting for Devil Spirit Xiao Hua to make his move. Seeing the Devil Blade coming towards him, he laughed heartily. The Devil Spear in his hand suddenly paused, and the tail of the spear swept out like a dragon's tail. Several huge bone dragon phantoms emerged from the tail of the spear and blocked the Devil Blade like a peacock spreading its tail. Puff, puff, puff. Without any suspense, the several phantoms were instantly split into 2 halves by the Devil Blade. However, at the same time that the Devil Blade broke the Devil Spear, the white bones of the Bone Dragon phantoms actually blocked the Devil Blade's blade. Woo! At the same time that the Devil Blade was stuck, Devil Emperor Qi's devil body flapped its wings. The Devil Spear actually borrowed the power of the Devil Blade and suddenly turned around. The tip of the spear that was previously thrusting towards Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua strangely twisted and reversed, piercing through the void towards Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's arm that was holding the Devil Blade. Seeing that the Devil Spear was mixed with a powerful draconic aura, enveloping the space within several hundred li, Devil Spirit Xiao Hua also turned his blade, and a surge of devil energy mixed with devil flames rushed towards the Devil Spear. However, Devil Emperor Qi had already been calculating. Seeing Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's Devil Blade coming towards him, he simply didn't dodge. The Devil Spear's momentum didn't stop. Pong! With a loud sound, the 2 devil weapons collided. In the area where Devil Emperor Qi was located, devil energy gushed out like a flood. The incomparably sharp draconic aura was actually split into 2 halves by Devil Blade Murder. On the white Bone Dragon Spear, half of the Bone Dragon's spine was also cut off. Devil Blade Murder, Devil Blade Murder. Devil Emperor Qi didn't seem to be flustered by the fact that his Devil Spear was damaged. His mouth muttered, and his entire body suddenly swooped down. The devil horn on his forehead emitted a strange fluctuation, enveloping Devil Spirit Xiao Hua. Devil Emperor Qi came from the Devil World, but this Devil World wasn't the Devil World that Zhang Qingxiao mentioned. Devil Emperor Qi's origin was naturally much higher than Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's. The fluctuation emitted by Devil Emperor Qi's devil horn was like the pressure of a Taoist cultivator. The moment it was released, it immediately forced Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's entire body to tremble. Even his 10,000 zhang tall devil body showed signs of collapsing under the fluctuation. Roar! Devil Spirit Xiao Hua was also very tenacious. After reaching this realm, he roared, and a bloody light surged around his body. The blood-dripping paradise tenaciously overflowed on the surface of his body. That devil blade also recklessly chopped towards Devil Emperor Qi. Looking at Devil Spirit Xiao Hua, who was almost on the verge of death, Devil Emperor Qi swept a glance at Xiao Hua, who was still standing in the distance and not in a hurry to make a move. His devil wings suddenly fluttered, and his figure transcended space. In an instant, he rushed in front of Devil Spirit Xiao Hua, completely ignoring the fact that the devil blade was chopping towards his back. Clearly, Devil Emperor Qi intended to give up some of his devil body to obtain the devil blade murder. However, at this moment, the green-robed Xiao Hua, who had not made a move until now, suddenly formed a hand seal with both hands. Several seals that had been accumulating power for a long time suddenly struck the void. Several chi-thick crystal lights crazily rushed in and instantly disappeared. Looking at the location of Devil Emperor Qi's devil horn, Kacha, a sound similar to a mirror shattering rang out. The several hundred li of space around Devil Spirit Xiao Hua shattered in a few breaths of time. Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's devil body also turned into hundreds of millions of fragments. Devil Emperor Qi was shocked. He looked at the shattered space with some disbelief. He looked at the fragments of Devil Spirit Xiao Hua that were overflowing with Devil Qi, and even the fragments of the Devil Blade. Just as Devil Emperor Qi was stunned, above his head, a five-colored light beam suddenly fell down. It was the invisible nascent soul that was holding the Kunlun mirror. The appearance of this Kunlun mirror's light beam was too strange. Devil Emperor Qi did not notice it at all. Boom! A loud sound rang out. Thousands of devil Qi and devil flames dissipated in the light beam, and a huge vortex was born under the light beam. The light beam directly penetrated Devil Emperor Qi's devil armor, hit the devil heart, and penetrated Devil Emperor Qi's devil body. Ayo! Devil Emperor Qi cried out in pain. The devil's spear in his hand suddenly rose up, like a dragon in the sky, piercing towards the light beam. Ha ha ha! Xiao Hua's voice came from the invisible nascent soul. Immediately, the light beam disappeared, and the invisible nascent soul had teleported into Xiao Hua's body that was standing in midair. Xiao Hua's figure began to move. Damn it! Damn it! Devil Emperor Qi seemed to understand something and looked at Xiao Hua with extreme resentment. However, before he could withdraw his devil spear, whoosh! Another golden light flashed in midair. The Tangjiao shears flew out from the green-robed Xiao Hua's hand and cut one of Devil Emperor Qi's devil wings. Ka-ka-ka! A series of crisp sounds rang out. Thousands of white bone fragments flew out from the devil wings, and countless devil Qi scattered in midair. Ayo! Devil Emperor Qi cried out. He always thought that he had the pearl of wisdom in his hand, and that his calculations were very appropriate. However, he began to ignore Xiao Hua's scheming and underestimated Xiao Hua's courage. Only now did he understand that from the beginning, he was the first person that Xiao Hua wanted to kill. It was also when Devil Emperor Qi was regretting that Devil Spirit Xiao Hua's figure appeared beside green-robed Xiao Hua like a light shadow. The luck and fear on his face did not seem to be fake. Green-robed Xiao Hua had been comprehending cultivation techniques on the Shenhua continent, and he knew many secret techniques. When he saw that Devil Spirit Xiao Hua was in danger, he used the Shadow Shift secret technique to save Devil Spirit Xiao Hua from Devil Emperor Qi's attack. At the same time, it created an opportunity for the formless nascent soul to attack. Kill. Before Devil Spirit Xiao Hua could say anything, green-robed Xiao Hua shouted coldly and raised the Tang Jiao shears again, swinging the dragon tail and pouncing towards Devil Emperor Qi. Devil Spirit Xiao Hua was even more obedient and did not think about anything. He waved his left hand, and the devil saber was raised again. Together with the Tang Jiao shears, he slashed towards Devil Emperor Qi. As for Confucian cultivator Xiao Hua, who was injured by Devil Emperor Qi, he pointed his finger at the 9 cauldrons. The 9 cauldrons appeared again, and their brilliance and true Qi merged into one. It was like a huge hidden immortal continent, and it pounced towards Devil Emperor Qi. Cha-cha-cha. When Devil Emperor Qi was about to deal with it, a thunderous sound came from below him. Devil Emperor Qi looked down and saw Xiao Hua transforming into a 10,000 feet long golden body, stepping on lightning and pouncing towards him. Devil Emperor Qi's soul flew out of the sky, and he desperately waved his devil spear. At the same time, The devil whorled on his forehead, emitted a powerful fluctuation. He suddenly retreated and even roared, "Brother Devil, save me!" Along with Devil Emperor Chi's shout, the devil array above everyone's head let out a huge roar, and a series of devil pillars suddenly appeared around Devil Emperor Chi. It seemed to be preventing Xiao Hua's doppelgangers from attacking Devil Emperor Chi. However, before the devil pillars were completely formed, Xiao Hua, who was flying towards Devil Emperor Chi, suddenly swayed and strangely disappeared. A moment later, he reappeared beside Devil Emperor Chi. At this time, Devil Emperor Chi was injured by Soul Cultivator Xiao Hua. His golden claws cracked Sun Jian's three-pointed, double-edged sword. Phoenix body Xiao Hua desperately used his wings, which were flashing with nebulous scales, to block the attack. The golden-winged Great Peng's wings grabbed Devil Emperor Chi's chest with his phoenix claws. Behind Phoenix body Xiao Hua, Yunche of the Shindao sect and Lu Wuxia of the Misty school had arrived before Xiao Hua. Each of them activated their magical treasures and attacked Devil Emperor Chi from the left and right sides. -13. Sun Jian circulated the true energy in his body as if his life depended on it. The majestic pillar of true energy fell around the golden-winged Great Peng like a hurricane, blowing away the layers of devilish energy and killing the devils one after another. Just as the Devil Emperor Chi was about to panic, he flapped his bony wings and tried to summon more lightning and devilish energy. The Spirit Execution Vital Light took the opportunity to fall. Tens of thousands of tiny sounds rang out as the Spirit Execution Vital Light pierced through the devilish energy, devilish flames, and lightning like needles and landed on every joint of the golden-winged Great Peng. Boom, boom, boom. Like firecrackers in the mortal world, the bones of the Devil Emperor exploded one after another. Every bone in the Devil Emperor's body was punctured by pitch-black, devilish lightning. Earlier, the Devil Emperor had single-handedly blocked the combined attacks of Xiao Hua, and Sun Jian, but now, the combined might of Lu Wuxia, Yunche, and Xiao Hua had finally destroyed his body. Without any protection, the Devil Emperor's soul-like body was finally able to face everyone for the first time. Boom. Boom, boom. It was also at this moment that flames shot up into the sky from the Realm Protection Great Array not far away. Within the flames, Dao Transformation Realm human clan cultivators rushed over. They each activated their Dharma treasures and began to form a formation, preparing to attack the two demon emperors. Good. Seeing that reinforcements had arrived, Xiao Hua knew that even if another Devil Emperor appeared, it wouldn't be a match for them. The dawn of victory for the human race had arrived, and Xiao Hua couldn't help but feel relieved. He raised his hand and put away the sword gourd. The soul cultivator Xiao Hua chanted green seal scriptures again, and a soul sword quickly took shape as he prepared to kill the Devil Emperor Chi. When Lu Wuxia and Yunche saw that the Devil Emperor Chi's body had appeared, they were similarly delighted. They activated their magic treasures and attacked from two sides. However, right at that moment, a burst of laughter rang out. The demonic pillars that had previously appeared around Demon Emperor Kuang suddenly appeared around Demon Emperor Kuang. Immediately, Xiao Hua felt a heavy pressure above his head. The originally pitch-black demonic array suddenly fell down. Boom! A wave of demonic light, along with thousands of light shadows, broke free from the demonic array and rushed into Demon Emperor Kuang's body. Bzzz. As soon as the devilish light entered the Devil Emperor Chi's body, it immediately let out a deafening rumble. The Devil Emperor Chi's body rapidly expanded like a bubble, and an indescribable aura emanated from it. This aura was completely different from the aura of the golden-winged Great Peng and the Devil Emperor Chi. It was cold, cruel, and desolate. The Devil Emperor Chi's body expanded to tens of thousands of meters tall. It grew an oval head, a pair of curved eyes, a huge nose, and a huge curved mouth. The upper body of the Devil Emperor Chi was like a water bucket, and the lower body of the Devil Emperor Chi was like two thick legs with strange devilish patterns on them. Xiao Hua was completely dizzy. He knew that there was another Devil Emperor in the devilish formation that the Devil Emperor Chi called Brother Devil, but he didn't expect that this Devil Emperor would directly take over the Devil Emperor Chi's body and even take on the appearance of a human. However, At this moment, above Xiao Hua's head, within the enormous devilish formation that completely covered the realm guardian formation of the ruins, countless ripples passed through the void and into the Devil Emperor Qi's body. The Devil Emperor Qi's body once again emitted a powerful devilish sense that could annihilate everything in the space with a flick of his finger. This devilish sense was so familiar that Xiao Hua's face instantly paled. Xiao Hua looked at the Devil Emperor Qi and the Devil Emperor Qi in disbelief. The two Devil Emperors were no longer panicking, even if they were facing Xiao Hua's many clones, even if the human cultivators of the ruins had already formed a formation and were ready to kill them. Xiao Hua understood something, and the devil spirit Xiao Hua also understood something. At this moment, the devil spirit Xiao Hua, who raised the devil blade murder, no longer dared to wave it arrogantly. He only looked at the Devil Emperor in human form and the devilish formation that was like a dark cloud. In the entire space, only he knew who had taken over the Devil Emperor Qi's body at the first moment. The devil spirit of the devil formation. Xiao Hua took a deep breath. Although he was somewhat afraid, he still sent a sound transmission. What? The devil spirit of the devil formation? Yun Che heard Xiao Hua's sound transmission and almost cried out in shock. He also looked at the devilish formation that had sealed the ruins for hundreds of years above his head in disbelief. Such a terrifying devil had given birth to a devil spirit. In the entire ruins, or even the entire moon god realm, who could be its opponent? That's right. It's the devil spirit of the devil formation. Xiao Hua replied indifferently. We were still fooled. These three great devil emperors, amen? Or it could be said that only these three great devil emperors were besieging the ruins. The other 20-something devil emperors were all disguised by these three devil emperors. This devil spirit of the devil formation is their last resort. If the golden-winged Great Peng's devilish body is unable to defeat us, the devil spirit of the devil formation will escape from the devilish formation, transform into human form, and directly kill us. Yun Che's face was pale, and he said with a trembling voice, this kind of devil, no one in the ruins is its opponent. If these devil emperors wanted to, I'm afraid that they would have already captured the ruins. As for why they only revealed their methods now, this is not something that this Xiao can know. While Xiao Hua was speaking, the devil spirit of the devil formation raised its hand and waved. Its fat arm crossed countless space and hit the dozen or so human cultivators who had just gathered into a formation with a single punch. Facing the power of the devil formation, half of the magical treasures of the dozen or so human cultivators turned into powder, and the other half of the cultivators were sent flying like withered leaves. Furthermore, the devil spirit of the devil formation even casually waved its hand and swatted the 9 continents cauldrons down from the sky like it was swatting away flies. The magic power of the human race, the luck of the human race, and the magical treasures of the human race were basically nothing in front of the devil formation that was enough to surround the entire ruins. There was no one who understood the strength of the devil spirit of the devil formation more than Xiao Hua. Even though this guy was constantly trembling, he was still prepared to fly up. The devil blade murder, which was possibly the only thing that could restrain the devil spirit of the devil formation, was already ready to make a move. However, just as Xiao Hua was about to risk his life for a strike, he suddenly stopped and looked at the distant Xiao Hua in disbelief. Xiao Hua's gaze swept over him, and he nodded slightly. Demonic spirit Xiao Hua didn't dare to go against Xiao Hua's wishes. His entire demonic body slowly shrunk as he teleported to Xiao Hua's side. Then, Xiao Hua waved his big sleeve and gave him something. Demonic spirit Xiao Hua thoughtfully stood outside the battle and silently watched everything. -13. Chapter 4170. This war that the 3 great demon emperors had been planning for God knows how many years now had a huge variable, and this variable was naturally Xiao Hua. However, Xiao Hua did not directly participate in the war at this time. Instead, he hid in a corner of the realm protecting Great Array, trying his best to replenish his essence while narrowing his eyes to observe the situation of the entire war. Xiao Hua was not a talented commander, so it was not realistic for him to lead the war. However, he was a talented general who could find flaws in the war and find out the intentions of the demon race. The two demon emperors are currently leading the demon monarchs and other demons to fight against the human army. Although it looks like they are in a stalemate, in reality, the demon emperors have the advantage. They have a lot of demons, and using the demon formation to teleport demons is also extremely fast. The two demon emperors can pin down this Xiao's doppelganger, while the other demon monarchs can kill the human cultivators. On the contrary, the human race has to protect the ruins, so they don't dare to relax at any place in the entire realm protecting Great Array, even if they know that this place is the main point of the demon race's attack. However, the demon race has used the diversionary tactic too many times, so no one dares to give up on the defense of other places. In other words, the demon race actually has a huge advantage. As long as the two demon emperors are willing, they can let their demon monarchs defeat the humans while the demon formation's demon spirit is pinning down the celestials. Xiaohua secretly pondered, of course, this kind of victory cannot affect the overall situation. The most important thing is that the demon formation's demon spirit has to defeat the celestials. However, the strange thing is that the strength that the demon formation's demon spirit displayed earlier is not inferior to the celestials. Moreover, the celestials are too violent. Bones Honing Xiaohua is currently trying his best to control them. If the demon formation's demon spirit has the intention, although it can't easily defeat the celestials, it can easily suppress them. Could it be that the demon formation's demon spirit has seen through the peculiarity and is waiting for the celestials to lose control? At that time, if this Xiao is afraid that the celestials will kill both the human race and the demon race, I can only put the celestials into the space. Even at that time, whether this Xiao can control the celestials or not is still another matter. Damn it, how can this demon race be so cunning? They are 100 times more cunning than the dragon race on Dragon Island. It's just... Xiaohua was puzzled again. How does the demon formation's demon spirit know that Bones Honing Xiaohua is unable to control the celestials? Can he see it from the surface? Yes, I understand. Xiaohua's mind spun rapidly. Looking at the enormous devil formation devil spirit, he suddenly understood something and exclaimed in a low voice. Bone-tempering Xiaohua used this Xiao's doppelganger to fall into the celestial's white bones, unable to control the celestial. If that was the case, even if the demon spirit of the demon array fell into the demon emperor's body, it wouldn't last for long. Demon Emperor Qiong's demon body was similar to his Yuan Shan. He had always occupied the body of others, but if he occupied the bones of the celestial being, he might be stronger than Xiaohua. But now, the situation was reversed. It was the demonic array's demonic spirit that had taken over Demon Emperor Qiong's demonic body. What kind of existence was the demonic array's demonic spirit? That was an existence that had trapped the Great Barrier Formation of the ruins for hundreds of years, and could control all the devils that entered and exited the Great Barrier Formation. How could the Demon Emperor's body contain this demon spirit? Perhaps, the Devil Array's devil spirit was now in the same predicament as the Bone-Honing Xiaohua. Whoever can last until the end will be the winner. After saying that, Xiaohua hurriedly transmitted this situation to the Bone-Honing Xiaohua, encouraging him to persevere. Hearing this, the Bone-Honing Xiaohua's spirit was greatly shaken. The 3 heads of the celestial each spouted out a different colored light. At the same time, the 6 arms also danced, either tearing the void, holding thunderbolts, or smashing out thunderballs, launching another round of crazy attacks. At the same time, the red light in the celestial's eyes became even more dazzling. Woo! The body of the demonic array's devil spirit involuntarily swelled up. The demonic arms drew circles in the air, and waves of demonic energy whistled in the air like a whirlpool. There were traces of demonic patterns in the whirlpool, and pitch-black lightning flashed in the demonic patterns. Boom, boom, boom. An earth-shattering sound rang out again. The light of the celestial not only destroyed the whirlpool, but also fell on the body of the demonic array's devil spirit. Even the thunderballs and thunderbolts also destroyed the demonic energy of the demonic array's devil spirit. Under the powerful attack of the celestial, the body of the demonic array's devil spirit fell into the flames of the Great Barrier Formation. Good. Xiaohua smiled to the point that even his eyes were narrowed, and he almost clapped his hands. With the Celestial's white bones as his trump card, he could move unhindered in the ruins, move unhindered in the moon god realm. What was there to be afraid of? However, at this moment, the location of the demonic pillars that were originally obliterated by the Celestial suddenly rumbled. Following that, tens of thousands of white bones burning with black flames swarmed out like bamboo rafts in a river. Behind every white bone was a wisp of pitch-black demonic energy. These white bones were covered with demonic patterns, and they were extremely fast. The moment they appeared, they immediately fell into the flames of the Great Barrier Formation, not giving the Celestial any time to react. When the Celestial saw this, he couldn't help but become furious. The multicolored light in his mouth once again spouted towards the white bones. Puff, puff. Amidst the continuous sounds, there was the sound of water splashing. Tens of thousands of white bones rushed to the side of the fat body of the demonic array's devil spirit, and the multicolored light of the Celestial also fell into the flames. Wherever the multicolored light was, the white bones broke inch by inch, and the scarlet flames were extinguished even more. Not good. Xiao Hua was an array master. Seeing that the traces of the white bones were somewhat strange, it seemed to be a kind of array, he was immediately shocked and shouted, "Quick, bone-tempering fellow Taoist." Just as Xiao Hua shouted here, clang, there was a burst of golden sound, but at the Great Barrier Formation, a large grayish-white color emerged. Like the psoriasis on the body of the secular world, it looked extremely disgusting. Following that, the previously sickly demonic array's devil spirit suddenly became lively. That chubby body seemed to break out of thin air. The arms, legs, and other places connected spurted out thick rings of demonic energy. These rings of demonic energy rotated rapidly, bringing the various demonic bodies of the demonic array's devil spirit, and those places were where many of the previous demonic bones fell. Damn it! Bone-tempering Xiao Hua tried his best to resist the waves of impulses coming from the celestial white bones, but Xiao Hua's vigilance also came to his mind. He cursed angrily, urging the celestial white bones to pounce on the demonic array's devil spirit, and the multicolored light in his mouth spurted out like a flood. Don't! Xiao Hua seemed to understand the demonic array's devil spirit's plan, and hurriedly ordered bone-tempering Xiao Hua. Unfortunately, he was still too late. Just as the multicolored light spurted out, the body of the demonic array's devil spirit emitted a terrifying fluctuation. Waves of pitch-black thunderbolts, mixed with demonic flames, were born from the large grayish-white area of the Great Barrier Formation. Following that, the body of the demonic array's devil spirit soared into the sky, and behind him, a large expanse of flames was lifted up. At this moment, the Celestial's attack came again, but this attack was strangely dodged by the demonic array's devil spirit. That flood of multicolored light hit the flames that were lifted up, and the restrictions and other things that the demonic array's devil spirit couldn't remove were all destroyed by the multicolored light of the Celestial. Following that, a large amount of heaven and earth origin chi gushed out from the Great Barrier Formation, and the Great Barrier Formation finally had a huge crack. Although there were some flaws in the previous Great Realm Protection Formation, and the Devil Spirit of the Devil Formation could use these flaws to send the Devil Race into the ruins, the entire Great Realm Protection Formation was complete. Furthermore, the Great Realm Protection Formation could also repair some of its flaws. Now, it was different. In the Crimson-Red battle, the area of several hundred li was torn apart. Although it wasn't much in the huge fire array, the Great Barrier Formation was no longer complete. Especially under the control of the demonic array's devil spirit, the pitch-black demonic flames and thunderbolts crazily controlled this flaw and spread to other places. Boom! Before Xiao Hua could say anything, a demonic pillar that pierced through the entire space fell down from the demonic array above everyone's head, completely covering the Great Barrier Formation's flaw. The entire Great Barrier Formation violently shook under this demonic pillar, and it was like a dagger stabbing into an ordinary person's body. Roar! The Celestial was also furious. He raised his head and let out a long roar, and multicolored light spurted out from his three heads again. Boom! The multicolored light rolled back, and the entire demonic pillar collapsed. The Great Barrier Formation revealed itself again, but in just a moment, the flaw expanded by more than 10 li again, and the speed of the formation's collapse was also increasing. Whoosh! The demonic pillar had just turned into demonic chi and dissipated, and there was another sharp whistling sound of wind. In the midst of the demonic chi, the huge demonic body of the demonic array's devil spirit suddenly appeared. Its fat arms waved, and its fist smashed into the celestial's face. The celestial was caught off guard and was actually sent flying. Damn it! Xiaohua was very anxious in his heart. Inside the demonic chi is the domain of the demonic array's devil spirit. He pretended to be weak for so long, and his purpose was to tear the Great Barrier Formation apart. Now that the Great Barrier Formation has been broken, this guy will definitely use a heavy hand. This Xiao can only see how to repair the Great Barrier Formation when the human cultivators are entangled with the Devil Emperor. Xiao Hua's figure hurriedly teleported over, but the profound qi in his body had not recovered. His figure swayed, and a kind of feeling of bones and tendons numbness appeared. At this moment, the celestial roared again and leaped into the air, pouncing towards the demonic array's devil spirit. The demonic array's devil spirit was not afraid. It opened its mouth and spat out a blood-red light that shattered the void and pounced towards the celestial. Behind the demonic array's devil spirit, boom, another demonic pillar that reached the sky came crashing down once again. Jiji. Just as the demonic pillar fell on the Great Barrier Formation, a burst of wild laughter came from the dark void. Xiao Hua hurriedly looked up and saw that the Devil Emperor Qi's figure had strangely appeared between the demonic pillars. Xiao Hua was greatly alarmed. He once again looked towards where the scholarly cultivator Xiao Hua was. Sure enough, there was still a Devil Emperor like the Devil Emperor Qi there, but the Devil Emperor's aura on that Devil Emperor's body was gradually fading away. Damn it! This is one of the Devil Emperor's divine abilities. Xiao Hua suddenly understood. He recalled the situation when he first met the Devil Emperor. However, before the wild laughter of the Devil Emperor Qi disappeared, another angry, puzzled, and surprised voice came from his mouth. How is this possible? Where are the blood spirits inside the Great Barrier Formation? Qi, you, how could you devour all the blood spirits? -13. The Devil Spirit is afraid that it can't completely destroy the realm-protecting Great Array, so it wants to borrow the power of magnetism. Xiao Hua was still pondering, but the Devil Emperor Qi did not give him a chance. The Devil Emperor spread its wings, waved the Devil Spear in its hand, and pounced on Xiao Hua. Xiao Hua was shocked. He urged his body to flee in the direction of the scholarly cultivator Xiao Hua and the others. At the same time, the bone-tempering Xiao Hua also hurriedly urged the Celestial to sweep across the sky, wanting to rescue them. However, the Devil Emperor Qi was the Devil Emperor of the Mayfly race, who was proficient in spatial escape. With a flap of its wings, it had already arrived in front of Xiao Hua. Even the Devil Spear refined by the Bone Dragon had already pierced Xiao Hua's back. Xiao Hua hurriedly formed a seal, and a yellow shield appeared in front of the Devil Spear. Pa! The Devil Spear touched the shield, and countless fragments flew up with the wind. The Devil Spear turned into a Bone Dragon, and the dragon's horn showed a dizzy color. Xiao Hua's back twisted strangely. Swish! At this moment, a golden light flashed, like a thunderbolt, and chopped the Devil Emperor Qi's Devil Spear arm. Ka-ka! A series of crisp sounds rang out. The Tang Jiao shears revealed a domineering golden light, and the Devil Emperor's devil arm was immediately cut off by the Tang Jiao shears. The Devil Emperor Qi was stunned, because the Tang Jiao shears should be in the hands of the green-robed Xiao Hua, and the latter was still some distance away. The Devil Emperor Qi did not even see the green-robed Xiao Hua take out the Tang Jiao shears. However, after the Devil Emperor Qi recovered from his shock, he did not feel anything else. For a Devil Emperor, any part of his devil body could be regenerated, so there was no need to spend too much effort. However, the moment the Devil Emperor Qi's arm was regenerated, the scene in front of him made him go completely crazy, because, in the instant he was stunned, the Devil Spear that no one was controlling in midair disappeared. It disappeared into thin air. There was no fluctuation of magic power, no sign of any omen. Roar! The Devil Emperor Qi roared. A pair of devil wings flapped, and devil Qi scattered into the void. Fluctuations spread all around Xiaohua, and thousands of white bones shot out, blocking Xiaohua's path. Ha ha ha! Xiaohua laughed. He waved his hand, and a circle of golden light flashed, and all the white bones were cut off by the Tang Jiao shears. Following his laughter, Xiaohua's figure teleported away. Confucian cultivator Xiaohua and the other clones broke through some of the restrictions of the devil formation and teleported around the Devil Emperor Qi. Even soul cultivator Xiaohua and Sun Jian came out from the other battles to deal with the Devil Emperor Qi at this point. How could the Devil Emperor Qi not know that he had fallen into Xiaohua's trap? From the beginning, the other party had taken a fancy to the Devil Spear in his hand, which could contend against the Devil Saber. He even flew out from the battle to deliver the Devil Spear for himself. Ao. The Devil Emperor Qi roared several times, and Devil Qi soared into the sky. His wings flapped again, and his devil body teleported. However, what puzzled Xiaohua was that the Devil Emperor Qi did not chase after him. Instead, he retreated and flew directly to the place where the wood and water origin magnetism fell. Then, the devil horn on the Devil Emperor Qi's forehead frantically rushed out and landed on the devil pillar that was attacking the realm-protecting Grand Array. The devil pillar became more and more frantic under the fluctuations, and like a violent wave, it attacked the devil formation. Similarly, right after the devil pillar, the wood and water origin magnetism increased its speed and rushed into the flames of the realm-protecting Grand Array. Conspiracy. There must be a conspiracy here. Xiaohua stood in midair and did not have the slightest joy of getting the Devil's Spear. He screamed madly in his heart, "I should have thought of something, but why can't I think of anything?" The Devil Clan would definitely not use the wood and water origin magnetism for no reason. Besides, wasn't the realm-protecting Grand Array of the ruins already broken? Why do they still need the wood and water origin magnetism? If the Devil Emperor Qi did not come to snatch the Devil's Spear, why did he fiddle with the origin magnetism? As the wood and water origin magnetism fell into the Great Array, the heavy Devil Qi in the surroundings began to peel off, revealing the wood and water origin magnetism with devil veins inside. Xiaohua immediately sensed the blood essence he left inside. However, under the interference of the Devil Flame and Devil Qi, Xiaohua's blood essence did not completely permeate the wood and water origin magnetism. Xiaohua's consciousness swept over, but it was still blocked by the Devil Qi, and he could not absorb the wood and water origin magnetism into his space. Oh? Just as Xiaohua's consciousness swept over with his divine sense, the Devil Emperor Qi seemed to have sensed something. He suddenly turned his head, and his devil sense swept over madly. Surround the Devil Emperor Qi. Xiaohua hurriedly ordered the Confucian cultivator Xiaohua and the other clones, and he prepared to rush under the realm-protecting Grand Array to take a look. After the Confucian cultivator Xiaohua and the other clones, there were also human cultivators of the ruins who chased after them. Even the Devil Emperor Qi waved his devil hammer and smashed it towards the realm-protecting Grand Array. Xiaohua's thoughts were the same as the cultivators of the ruins. He did not want the battlefield to shift to the ruins, so he hurriedly teleported to the place where the realm-protecting Grand Array was torn apart. At this moment, the realm-protecting Grand Array where the wood and water origin magnetism landed suddenly emitted the sound of bubbling. In the midst of the dissipating flames, a gorgeous extreme magnetic origin light suddenly appeared. It was so beautiful in the crimson flames. The green and black extreme magnetic origin light were like blooming daisies, falling into the crimson flames one after another. However, this beauty was also cruel. The extreme magnetic origin light was like a sharp blade, cutting down the flames piece by piece. In just a few breaths, the realm-protecting Grand Array had spread more than 1,000 miles. Looking at the gorgeous origin light, and seeing the traces of Devil Qi and Scarlet Bloodlight in the origin light, Xiaohua's heart gave birth to a strange feeling. He immediately thought of the day when he discovered the origin magnetic space in Yong'an Mountain. At that time, the origin magnetic field above the cliff was so beautiful and so austere. The fire and earth origin magnetic field and the origin magnetic field really moved Xiaohua. Not good. Thinking of this, Xiaohua suddenly understood something. There's a problem with the fire and earth origin magnetic field. This Xiao has already dripped my blood essence into it more than 10 years ago. According to the experience of the hidden immortal continent, my blood essence can already cover the fire and earth origin magnetic field. Let's not talk about the blood essence in the demonic array. There is demonic chi in the magnetic field, but there is no demonic chi in the magnetic field under the cliff. Why is it that when I flew over the southwest border several times, I didn't notice any movement in my blood essence? Could it be that the origin magnetic field was also tampered with by the devil race? If so, then why did the devil race tamper with the two origin magnetic fields? While pondering, Xiaohua had already descended from the realm protecting Grand Array. At this moment, the wood and water origin magnetic field had already fallen into the air, and the ground was precisely where the cliff was located. The black and green extreme magnetic origin light of the wood and water origin magnetic field filled the entire space. It was even more beautiful than what Xiaohua saw before. However, when Xiaohua's divine sense swept over and saw everything that happened at the cliff, he unconsciously felt his soul fly out of his body. -13. Chapter 4172. The space within several tens of thousands of li was filled with extreme magnetic rays. However, other than the black and green extreme magnetic rays of wood and water, the other two types of magnetic rays were also rapidly flashing in the space. These two types of magnetic rays were red and yellow and were entangled with the black and green extreme magnetic rays. The red extreme magnetic rays collided with the black extreme magnetic rays, and the yellow extreme magnetic rays collided with the green extreme magnetic rays, bursting forth with powerful might. This might be powerful, but under the sharp extreme magnetic rays, it was slightly insufficient. The four extreme magnetic rays were nothing in the air, but once they landed on the ground where the broken cliff was, the entire ground was cut apart by the extreme magnetic rays. What was special was that the large pieces of land that were cut apart were fiercely pushed away under the might of the magnetic rays. Even though the earth attribute was the majority in the land, there were many things of the five elements. Under the innate rejection and cutting of the four types of magnetic rays, the land of the five elements all collapsed. It was as if there was an incomparably huge hand that was tearing this land apart and forcefully pulling the southwest border of the ruins away from the ruins. Ah, it can still be like this? This is the rhythm of completely tearing the ruins apart? Damn it, these devils are really too imaginative. Seeing this situation, how could Xiaohua not know the devil's plan other than being shocked? What was special was that the fire and earth magnetic rays that were previously buried under the broken cliff, under the push of the wood and water magnetic rays that the devil brought over, they dug deeper into the ground. Following the penetration of the magnetic rays, the collapsing southwest border continued to collapse and spread towards the center of the ruins. This spreading speed was extremely fast. Tens of thousands of li of land disappeared. Large pieces of rocks and soil rushed into the sky and floated in the air, following the law of the extreme magnetic rays. If there was no method to collect these two magnetic rays, it would not take long before the entire ruins would be torn into pieces by the magnetic rays. The entire star would turn into dust in the star field. How could Xiaohua dare to be negligent? He hurriedly released his consciousness and wanted to collect the metal and wood magnetic rays into the space like before. It was a pity that the wood and water magnetic rays were incomparably heavy and could not be collected at all. What was special was that the extreme magnetic ray that was tainted with demonic energy was so sharp that even the Devil Emperor could not detect it. Xiaohua's attempt was fruitless, so he could only give up. Immediately after, Xiaohua took out the sword gourd with a flick of his hand. Under the urging of his magic power, the soul execution origin light transformed into a waterfall that charged into midair. Even though the soul execution origin light had some attractive force that drew away a portion of the extreme magnetic origin light, this portion of origin light was truly too little and was utterly unable to have the effect of preventing the ruins from shattering. Moreover, Xiaohua continuously used the 3 corpses in lightning, 5 qi righteous lightning, and 9 heavens divine lightning. When these lightning bolts fell into the origin magnetic field, they were all drawn away with all their might. Similarly, they were unable to stop anything. What should we do? Xiaohua was truly at his wit's end. Looking at the ground that was rapidly collapsing, his eyes turned rapidly. At this moment, the previously impregnable Great Barrier Array began to crumble just like the ruins. A huge amount of demonic chi was like a tidal wave, extinguishing the scarlet flames wherever it went. Blood rivers and demonic pillars descended from the sky, and countless devil clan members rushed out from the demonic chi, charging into the great array. The cultivators of the ruins had long been prepared when they saw the realm-protecting formation being broken. While organizing a formation to resist, they also issued orders to the nearby disciples to go over and face the enemy. Even though the devils rushed in crazily, the human cultivators at this time were all in the void refinement and Tao transformation realm. Except for some devil monarchs who could resist, the other devils were all turned into ashes by the cultivators' magic treasures. Xiao Hua looked at the brilliance of the magic treasures on his left that soared into the sky and listened to the endless rumbling sounds, but his mouth was abnormally bitter. Although his arrival in the ruins had added a lot of variables to the war between Taoists and devils, and he even thought that he could control the situation of the war just now, the cruel reality told him that any war was not a one-man game. No one could control the situation of the war at will, unless this person had strength that surpassed everything and could turn the clouds and rain with a flip of his hand. Obviously, the current Xiao Hua was far from having such strength. Even if he was a heavenly being, he could not. However, just as Xiao Hua was racking his brains to think, he suddenly discovered a strange phenomenon. The Devil Emperor Qi, who was abnormally ferocious before, was now activating his wings. Although he was besieged by the Soul Cultivator Xiao Hua and the Confucian Cultivator Xiao Hua, his devil consciousness was still exploring around him. He did not care about the earth that was torn apart by the two magnetic fields. On the contrary, the Devil Emperor Qi, who was silent before, activated his body at this time. While fighting with the Dragon Vein Xiaohua and Buddha Bodhi, he moved towards the magnetic field. As for the Devil Formation Devil Spirit, it seemed to have reached its limit. While fighting with the bone-honing Xiaohua, the power of its hands and feet was also reduced by 30%. Previously, the Devil Emperor Qi and the Devil Emperor Qi were the first to rush into the realm-protecting formation. Moreover, they also mentioned the Blood Spirit. Obviously, their target of besieging the ruins was those wandering souls. Now, this wandering soul has been taken away by this Xiao Mao. This made their plan fail. Even if they capture the ruins, I'm afraid they will not achieve their previous goal. However, they are still fighting here. Although it's because there are still humans in the ruins, the most important thing is the agreement with the Devil Emperor Qi. The three Devil Emperors must have their own plans. What is this Devil Emperor Qi's goal? Xiaohua thought to himself. Moreover, looking at his appearance, he is really looking for something. Moreover, this thing is inside the ruins. It's even at the southwest border. The southwest border is so broken. Clearly, there were humans or devils who used this method to search for it in the past. Or perhaps, this human is related to the Shindao sect. Yunche was right. The Divine Blade Clan and the Devil Emperor Qi were indeed looking for the same thing. This thing is enough to make the Devil Emperor of the Devil Realm jealous. However, this thing, what is it? The Tao sect's magic cannot find it. The Devil race's divine ability cannot find it, and can only rely on two magnetic fields to tear the earth apart to find it? Countless gravel and soil rushed into the sky. Similarly, the huge magnetic light rotated in the sky like a spiral. In the sky, the gorgeous aurora appeared again. Even more magnetic fields fell into the earth. Even more mountains, hills, and soil were crushed under the might of this heaven and earth. Xiaohua tried the power of the domain and couldn't help but smile bitterly. He cursed in his heart, damn it, these 5 elemental magnetic fields are really too abnormal. No wonder the 5 elemental wishful heaven-reaching staff needs to be used. Just as Xiaohua cursed, his body suddenly trembled. Boundless ecstasy appeared in his eyes. It was as if a hand was about to reach out from his throat. He couldn't help but slap his head and shout, "Damn it, I'm really stupid to the extreme." The reason why the 5-elemental wishful heaven-reaching staff can refine the 5-elemental magnetic fields together is because it uses the principle of the 5 elements engendering each other. Metal gives birth to water, water gives birth to wood, wood gives birth to fire, fire gives birth to earth, and earth gives birth to metal. By refining the magnetic fields of the 5 elemental magnetic fields together, it can create a magic weapon that doesn't entangle with any realm. And what the 3 great devil emperors are using today is also the principle of the 5 elements engendering each other. Metal restrains wood, wood restrains earth, earth restrains water, water restrains fire, and fire restrains metal. By combining these magnetic fields together, they can create a repulsive force that no one can stop, and then use this repulsive force to destroy the ruins? If I can use the principle of the 5 elements engendering each other, and use the method to refine the 5-elemental wishful heaven-reaching staff, won't I be able to stop this crazy magnetic light? While Xiao Hua was thinking, his gaze quickly landed on the 2 magnetic fields. The majestic object in the sky was the wood and water magnetic field, and the magnetic field under the earth was the fire and earth magnetic field. If he wanted to use the principle of the 5 elements engendering each other, he would need the water and fire magnetic field or the wood and earth magnetic field. Of course, it wasn't just the 5 elemental magnetic fields. He also needed the place where the 5 elemental magnetic fields were combined and refined by the innate mother. Xiao Hua just happened to collect the water and fire magnetic fields under the black wind ridge of the hidden immortal mainland. Moreover, there were innate fire jellyfish and innate fire jellyfish in his space. In other words, Xiao Hua already had the conditions to subdue the 2 destructive magnetic fields. However, the magnetic light was so powerful now that Xiao Hua couldn't get close to it. The domain in mind that he could rely on also couldn't get close to it. Moreover, the 3 great devil emperors were nearby. How could they allow him to collect these 2 magnetic fields? At this point, Xiao Hua already didn't dare to think too much. The magnetic force's range was very wide, and now was just the beginning. It could only harm the surface of the earth. If after a period of time, the magnetic force would seep into the Earth's core, or affect the stability of the ruins, not to mention the arrival of a star storm, even a gust of wind would be able to blow the ruins away, right? Fellow Taoists, Xiao Hua decisively shouted, "I have something to do. You all surround the 2 devil emperors. Don't let them disturb I." All right. Soul cultivator Xiao Hua and the others sensed Xiao Hua's intention. They all nodded and urged their magic power to attack the devil emperors, waiting for Xiao Hua to cast his spell. Without waiting for Xiao Hua to take out the water and fire magnetic fields from his space, the devil aura around Devil Emperor Qi's body suddenly flourished. Then, he raised his hand and patted his head. Just like a Tao cultivator casting a spell, a blood light soared into the sky and fell down. It was precisely mixed with the wood and earth magnetic field's origin light, and in a moment, this blood light was like a layer of densely packed little worms, wriggling on the torn earth. Xiao Hua knew that this was Devil Emperor Qi using the devil race's secret technique to search for something. He didn't hesitate at all. His mind entered the space and took out the water and fire magnetic fields. Boom! When his mind entered the space, a rumbling sound could be heard in the sky. Not only was the air compressed to the point that it gave birth to an explosive sound, even the unparalleled magnetic light was distorted by the pressure. The 3,650 mu in size of the water and fire magnetic fields, emitting red and black, appeared in front of the human race and devil race's eyes. Even the 3 great devil emperors were startled by the sudden appearance of this huge object. The moment the red fire polar magnetic rays and the black water polar magnetic rays appeared, they immediately changed their original directions and blended with the raging fire polar magnetic rays and water polar magnetic rays in the air. At the same time, the mutual restraint between the wood polar magnetic rays and the fire polar magnetic rays and the earth polar magnetic rays was greatly reduced. As a result, the torn land also slowed down. -13. Chapter 4173. Elwo. Seeing this, Demon Emperor Qi roared and swung his demonic hammer. His demonic legs swept across, and even his silver-black demonic arm attacked the soul cultivator Xiaohua. He wanted to pounce on the water and fire magnetic field. Seeing this, the Taoist cultivators were overjoyed. Many of the cultivators who were fighting the demon monarch abandoned the demon monarch and flew over to stop Demon Emperor Qi. On the other hand, Demon Emperor Qi glanced at the water and fire magnetic field and then looked at Xiaohua. He didn't do anything. Clearly, he wasn't interested in whether ruins was torn apart or not. However, just as they were about to block Devil Emperor Kuang let out a furious roar. His fat arms swung through the air for a moment, then suddenly pierced through the void and appeared next to the water and fire magnets. Boom! The arm pierced through the magnets, and a seemingly corporeal pillar of Devil Qi slammed into the magnets. The magnetic field was more than 3,650 mu in size, but it was blasted away by Demon Emperor Qi. Of course, taking advantage of Demon Emperor Qi's distraction, bone-tempering Xiaohua stretched out his arm and hit Demon Emperor Qi's body. Pooh! Demon Emperor Qi's body was sent flying, and the demonic Qi in front of his chest was pulled down by 100 feet. CSI. Demon Emperor Qi let out a sorrowful cry as if he was heavily injured. His body trembled violently and showed signs of collapsing. Seeing this, bone-tempering Xiaohua was overjoyed. He flew forward and at the same time, his 6 arms fell into the void and attacked Devil Emperor Qi from all directions. Xiaohua didn't have time to care about other things. He quickly released his consciousness to control the water and fire magnetic field. However, his consciousness was cut into pieces by the magnetic light, and he felt a heart-wrenching pain. Xiaohua's figure trembled, and he gritted his teeth tightly as he tried his best to persist. Right at this moment, the Devil Emperor Qi suddenly let out a long howl towards the sky, and then its enormous body shrunk swiftly before it descended towards the ground. Crack! Crack! A rather choppy sound resounded from the devilish armor, and it was precisely the sound of the magnetic rays descending upon it. Demonic Qi and indescribable demonic runes seeped out from the demonic armor. Although these demonic Qi and runes were instantly shattered, they were regenerated in just a few breaths of time. The demonic armor had actually blocked the extreme magnetic origin ray that was capable of tearing apart one's mind. Seeing that the Devil Emperor Kuo was about to escape, the soul cultivator Xiaohua and the other cultivators were about to stop him. Xiaohua's heart trembled, and he hurriedly said, "Fellow Taoists, ignore him. Let him go and find something. Once he takes the thing, he will naturally not care about these 2 magnets. You all protect don't let the other demons disturb us. I will store these 2 magnets into the space." Yes, Soul Cultivator Xiaohua and the other clones knew what Xiaohua was thinking. Right now, the first thing they wanted to do was to protect the safety of the ruins. Any treasure was nothing compared to the lives of the cultivators in the ruins. Everyone agreed and separated, protecting Xiaohua and Yuanmi together. Rise! Xiaohua clenched his teeth and released his domain to block the extreme magnetic origin ray for his mind. Then, his mind wrapped around the water and fire magnets and pulled them towards the center of the 2 magnets. Boom! As the 3 magnets got closer and closer, the entire space rumbled. More and more extreme magnetic origin rays fused together, and the sound of the earth tearing began to weaken again. At this time, the Devil Emperor Kuo had already fallen to the ground. The demonic hammer in his hand fiercely smashed the ground. The originally solid ground seemed to have been hollowed out. Rumble! Pieces of the ground collapsed one after another. In just a moment, 1,000-li-wide abyss was created, and at this time, the demonic blood that the Devil Emperor Kuo had spat out earlier turned into bean-sized demons and flew towards the abyss. Swoosh! In the midst of the battle cries, a soft sound came from the abyss. It seemed to be heard by everyone's ears, but also seemed to be heard by everyone's heart. Then, a kind of faint fluctuation spread throughout the entire world. This is Xiaohua, who was doing his best to push the water and fire magnets, was also swept by this faint fluctuation. An extremely familiar feeling emerged from the bottom of his heart. Xiaohua involuntarily turned his head. However, there was no sign of where he turned his head. The origin of the fluctuation was still in the depths of the earth. This is the power of origin. Although Xiaohua didn't see it, the fluctuation of the power of origin had already penetrated deep into his space. He could clearly sense the fluctuation of the other power of origin. It's just that in this upper realm, the power of law has already weakened. The fluctuation of this power of origin is much stronger than the Dawn Rain continent and the hidden immortal continent. Xiaohua only glanced at it and hurriedly retracted his attention. He accelerated the fusion of the water and fire magnets into the other two magnets. As the water and fire magnets gradually penetrated deeper, the devastating magnetic force finally converged by a large margin. The destruction of the entire heaven and earth also gradually stopped. However, because the magnetic force had already destroyed the structure of the ruins' ground, the collapse of the earth still didn't completely stop. Phew! Xiaohua heaved a sigh of relief. His gaze hurriedly looked towards Devil Emperor Qi and Devil Emperor Qi. Fortunately, Devil Emperor Qi was surrounded by a group of cultivators. Although there were more than 10 devil monarchs assisting him, he was clearly at a disadvantage and temporarily didn't have the energy to care about him. As for Devil Emperor Qi, he was still fighting with bone-honing Xiaohua. The battle was still desperate and looked like it was going to tear the sky apart. Fellow Taoist. Sensing Xiaohua's gaze, bone-honing Xiaohua hurriedly opened his mouth. I can't hold on for more than half a cup of tea. Now, fellow Taoist needs to make a choice. Either let I withdraw and take in the celestial, or let the celestial's consciousness control I. No need. Xiaohua slightly smiled and said a few words in a low voice. Bone-honing Xiaohua was stunned. He raised his eyes to look at the chaotic valley in the distance. The red light flickering in his eyes clearly had a kind of disbelief. Bone-honing Xiaohua then fought and retreated, luring the devil spirit of the devil formation to fly towards that valley. The devil spirit of the devil formation didn't suspect anything and chased closely behind. Seeing bone-honing Xiaohua leave, Xiaohua patted his forehead and opened his delirium destruction Dharma eye. He saw fine rays of various colors crisscrossing, and a wisp of emerald green brilliance slowly flew out from the depths of the earth like the rising sun. That brilliance was so dazzling that Xiaohua hurriedly closed his delirium destruction Dharma eye, not daring to look at it anymore. Origin of wood. Xiaohua sighed. Only this kind of origin item can provoke the judges of the netherworld and the devil emperor of the devil realm to take action. Only this kind of innate spiritual item that can't be detected by ordinary methods can be found by extreme methods like magnetic force. As the saying goes, a man's wealth is his own ruin. Now, because of this origin item, the ruins that is as big as a planet is also being ravaged by the devil race. If it wasn't for me, the entire planet would have been torn apart. Xiaohua knew that now wasn't the time to snatch the origin of wood, so he didn't think about it anymore. He focused on keeping the three magnetic forces together. When the water and fire magnetic forces were gentle with the wood and water magnetic forces, and the fire and earth magnetic forces were mixed together, he waved his hand again. The innate fire jellyfish and the innate fire jellyfish fell into the air. As 2 drops of essence blood seeped into them, the 2 innate items were like 2 dancing butterflies, flying towards the place where the 3 magnetic forces came into contact with each other. Woo! Before the 2 innate items could get close to each other, the 2 polar sides of the 3 magnetic forces suddenly let out a strange wind whistling sound. The space dozens of miles to the left of the polar sides instantly collapsed. The collapsed space formed a strange ring, and one ring after another fell towards the 2 innate items. At the same time, waves of energy spread out from the collapsed space to all directions. Wherever the waves passed, countless heaven and earth yuan qi turned into threads of crystal light and fell into the void. Even more so, with the impact of the heaven and earth yuan qi, hurricanes were born in the range of thousands of miles. The 5 elements in the entire space actually showed signs of chaos. With the 5 elements in chaos, the group of human cultivators who were fighting also became a little chaotic. This was because although the magnetic force was weakened, the heaven and earth yuan qi was in chaos. Their magic power actually couldn't control the yuan qi, and their magic treasures and weapons also lost control. Even their brilliance dimmed. As for the devil race, they weren't too affected. They all roared and pounced towards the human race, and the entire battle situation actually changed greatly. At this moment, a dozen or so human cultivators suddenly cried out in surprise, "Look, a phenomenon is descending from the sky." Following the direction of these cultivators' fingers, in the sky above the ruins, the outer layer of the huge demonic formation that surrounded it, and several huge rainbows were born. These rainbows were of 5 colors: red, black, green, white, and yellow, the 5 primary colors. At the end of these huge rainbows, there was a huge halo flashing. The shadows of the vermilion bird, black tortoise, azure dragon, white tiger, and Chelan vaguely appeared, and a huge power shrouded the star field where the ruins was located. As for this huge rainbow, it streaked across the demonic formation, penetrating the entire demonic formation, and countless thin shadows fell on the 3 magnetic forces. A phenomenon is descending from the sky? The divine weapon is formed. Perhaps Xiaohua didn't know what this phenomenon represented, but Emolianshi, Huafei, Shangguansu, and the other cultivators of the ruins understood. All of them looked at Xiaohua with great surprise, and looked at the 3 magnetic forces that were becoming more and more mysterious under the rainbow. Seeing the envy, jealousy, and hatred in the eyes of the human cultivators, Xiaohua smiled bitterly in his heart. He knew that the 5 elements wishful heaven-reaching staff was an ancient vicious weapon, but he didn't expect its origin to be so great. He hadn't even started to refine it, and such a phenomenon had already appeared. Xiaohua's eyes flashed with a fierce look, and he shouted loudly, "Fellow Taoists, whoever dares to come over, whether human or devil, will kill without mercy." Yes. How could all of Xiaohua's doppelgangers not know the importance of this 5 elements wishful heaven-reaching staff? They all responded, and several doppelgangers even abandoned the Devil Emperor and teleported to the middle of Xiaohua and the 3 magnetic forces. Once the doppelgangers left, the pressure on the Devil Emperor was immediately relieved. He had fought with Xiaohua before and also suffered a loss. In these dozens of years, he hadn't been idle. For the sake of Xiaohua's Devil Blade murder, he had racked his brains to find ways and means to deal with Xiaohua, and even found a devil weapon that was similar to Devil Blade murder. However, he didn't expect that dozens of years were nothing to him, but to Xiaohua, it was important. His doppelgangers had made great progress, and he had also suffered a loss in Xiaohua's hands. That devil spear had also been taken away by Xiaohua without anyone noticing. He could be considered to have tried to steal a chicken but ended up losing the rice used to lure it. -13. Chapter 4174. Most importantly, hundreds of millions of wandering souls were nowhere to be found in the realm protection array of the ruins. The Demon Emperor Qi's 2 goals in coming to the ruins were about to fail. Previously, he was trapped by Xiaohua's clones and couldn't escape. Now that Xiaohua's clones were gone, a dozen or so human cultivators flew over, and their cultivations might not be inferior to theirs. However, it wasn't difficult for the Demon Emperor Qi to escape in front of these humans. Looking at the natural phenomenon and the ferocity of Xiaohua and his clones, the Demon Emperor Qi had a rare thought of escaping. However, looking at the Demon Emperor Qi's figure falling into the abyss, this thought flashed past his mind. After all, he had spent so much effort to besiege the ruins for hundreds of years. There was no reason for him to leave now. The Demon Emperor Qi was somewhat unwilling. The Demon Emperor Qi flapped his wings, and his demonic aura was like a tiger. While blocking the attacks of a group of human cultivators, his demonic consciousness swept toward Xiaohua. The Demon Emperor Qi's demonic consciousness swept over and couldn't help but be shocked. His strength was originally higher than Xiaohua's, but under his demonic consciousness, he couldn't get within 100 miles of Xiaohua. Needless to say, the natural phenomenon had already confined Xiaohua. What? What is this thing? Is it a magic artifact refined by the human race? How can it be so powerful? The Demon Emperor Qi was once again worried. These 2 magnets. Clearly, They have been refined by the demon spirit of the demon array with the demon race's secret technique. Could it be that they still belong to the human race? If this magic artifact is successful, what kind of advantage can I have? It's better for me to leave. The demon Emperor Qi had the thought of escaping for the second time. He moved his body, and demonic runes appeared around his body. The runes rushed into the air and blocked the attacks of the human cultivators. Moreover, under the command of the demon Emperor Qi, a few more demon monarchs appeared from the void and blocked in front of him. However, just as he moved, he stopped again. His demonic consciousness looked around and thought to himself, "What's going on? Where's that demon spirit kid? He's holding the demon blade murder. Why haven't I seen him for so long? If I devour that devil spirit, I should be able to become a devil venerable, right?" Thinking of the devil spirit Xiaohua, Devil Emperor Qi hesitated again. He released his devil sense and tried his best to search. Sure enough, after passing through the battlefield of the human race and the devil race, in the distant mountain ridge, Devil Qi once again crisscrossed. That familiar bloodthirst of the devil blade attracted Devil Emperor Qi's devil sense all of a sudden. Understood. I'm afraid that the celestial beings' remains won't be able to kill Brother Devil formation. That's why they called the devil spirit brat to use the devil saber to kill him. The Devil Emperor Yun thought to himself, now, this human Xiaohua is subduing the magnetic field. I don't know what he is refining, but I can't stop him. Seems like now is the time. I might as well go and devour the devil spirit first. If possible, I can take the devil blade murder away. The demon emperor stopped hesitating. His body suddenly shrunk. While fighting the humans, he quietly moved toward the valley. Of course, Xiaohua didn't have the time to care about Demon Emperor Qi's scheme. He was now sitting cross-legged in front of the three magnets, casting spell seals one after another, landing on the gaps between the three magnets and the two sentient objects. Xiaohua didn't withdraw his golden body. After trying to refine the 5 elements Wishful Heaven Cudgel, he felt that its power was not enough, so he simply used the Heavenly Dragon technique. In midair, not only were the golden dragon patterns fluttering wantonly, but the obscure rumbling sound like a dragon's roar was also incessant. As these lights and shadows flashed, clusters of sparks were born from the gaps. These sparks were different from ordinary flames. They were condensed from strands of extreme magnetic light. Every time they were born, the void was distorted and brought about strange fluctuations. These fluctuations wanted to spread in all directions, but they were attracted by the magnetic force and slowly fell into the magnetic field. Dragon Vein Xiaohua and the other doppelgangers cautiously guarded around Xiaohua. They released their divine thoughts and were carefully on guard. In the entire magnetic field, strange fluctuations were everywhere. The innate objects even disturbed the qi of heaven and earth. Except for the color of the rainbow bridge, the whole sky gradually revealed the image of earth, fire, wind, and thunder, as if a complete world was about to be born in Xiaohua's hands. In the face of such a situation, Xiaohua couldn't help but complain in his heart. Since he got the refining method of the 5 elements Wishful Heaven Cudgel, he had already comprehended it thoroughly. He knew that this thing was not easy to refine, and he never thought that he would refine it outside the space. At this time, he had no choice but to force it. With his current cultivation, he might be able to refine it successfully, but what time was it? It was the crucial moment of the war with the demon race. How could he spend decades or even centuries to refine the 5 elements Wishful Heaven Cudgel? In addition, among the 3 magnetic fields, 2 of them had been refined by the demon race. If Xiaohua wanted to refine the 5 elements Wishful Heaven Cudgel, he had to bear the brunt of the demon qi and demon blood inside. At this time, the demon qi inside the 2 magnetic fields was like Xiaohua's greatest enemy. If this demon emperor obtains this item, he will not hesitate to kill the practitioners of the ruins with the other 2 demon emperors, not to mention whether he will let go of the ruins or not. How are you going to snatch it? Huafei also sneered. I can only sense the strong fluctuations of that thing, but I don't even know what it is. Perhaps perfected Xiao has a way. Shangguansu could not help but whisper to Shangguansu through telepathy as he watched Xiaohua show off his invincible power. Hua Fei's gaze was complicated, and he said with a double meaning, Brother Shangguan, perfected Xiao is an outer realm cultivator, and the cultivators of the ruins have offended him. Now that he has taken advantage of us and eaten the meat, we even left some soup for him. Do you still want to count on him? What exactly is a Dharma artifact refined by nearly 10 7th stage Dao transformation cultivators working together? Shangguan Su was envious when he saw the 5 elements origin form approaching the ruins and the changes in the ruins. This is the wood origin? Just as Shangguan Su and Hua Fei were discussing, the Shindao sect master Yun Che, who was in the distance, suddenly shouted with ecstasy on his face. How is this possible? The ruins is just a corner of the cultivation world. How can there be an origin item here? What? The wood origin? Shangguan Su glanced at Hua Fei, and both of their eyes were filled with shock. Although they did not know what Xiao Hua was refining, they were familiar with the divine abilities of origin items. They could not help but look at Xiao Hua. At this time, Yun Che had already released his primordial spirit Dharma idol. There was an oval-shaped red mole between his eyebrows. The red mole was flashing with a scarlet halo, which was similar to the color of the devil blood. It seemed that Yun Che had discovered the wood origin through this red mole. Damn it! Devil Emperor Qi heard Yun Che mention the wood origin and cursed angrily. His silver-black arm suddenly reached for the wood origin again. Unfortunately, just as he was about to touch the wood origin suddenly flew high and broke away from the devil blood's pursuit. The blood lotus then turned into tens of thousands of blood drops. -13. Chapter 4175. Seeing that the wood origin was about to break free, the Devil Emperor Qi wasn't in a hurry. Go! With a soft command, he opened his mouth and activated his devilish energy. The blood droplets spread out like a net again. Sure enough, another small blood lotus appeared a few dozen meters away from him. The Devil Emperor Qi scanned the area with his devilish senses and saw that many human cultivators were about to make a move. He didn't dare to be careless. Just like the humans, he clenched his teeth and shot out a bolt of pitch-black lightning from the devilish armor in front of his chest. As soon as it appeared, the Devil Emperor Qi's body shrank by 1 size. However, when the light landed on his devilish arm, the silver light on his devilish arm grew brighter and brighter. The Devil Emperor Qi fell toward the wood origin again. Buzz buzz. The space near the wood origin was trembling, and so was the Devil Emperor Qi's silver-black arm. The tremors gradually spread into the Devil Emperor Qi's devilish body. The outer layer of his devilish body began to shed as layers of devilish patterns fell off, revealing the sturdy muscles underneath. Moreover, a ferocious aura spread out from the top of his head. A few human cultivators who were secretly approaching the wood origin were actually frightened by the aura and trembled. A devil sovereign? Shangguan Su was shocked and realized something. He exclaimed, "The Devil Emperor is relying on the wood origin to become a devil sovereign?" Kiki. The Devil Emperor Qi laughed wildly. The origin energy had already begun to seep into his devil core, and an unprecedented feeling was born from it. Swoosh! At this moment, a clear cry descended from the sky. Yun Che raised his hand and slapped the top of his head. A ray of earthy yellow light shot out, and then a copper coin the size of a fist flew out and landed right where the Devil Emperor Qi was. Following the trajectory of the coin, a faint thin line emerged from the square eye of the coin. This thin line was very strange. It ignored space, demonic senses, and blood lotuses, and pierced through the wood essence. The wood essence spun and came out of the demonic arm of the demon Emperor Ho, revealing a medium-sized hole in the demonic arm. The wood origin that was pierced through by the thin line disappeared in a flash. When it appeared again, it had already landed in the square eye of the copper coin. Haha! The light on the top of Yun Che's head brought the copper coin and the wood origin down rapidly. He couldn't help but laugh wildly. At this moment, he finally understood why the Tai Bai sect set up the ruins. This wood origin was definitely worth the Tai Bai sect's side branch to guard and search for. Furthermore, the tearing of the southwest border of the ruins should have something to do with the Tai Bai sect. The Devil Emperor, Tai Bai, and the Devil Emperor Qi's arrival, and the Devil Emperor Qi's head. Moreover, Yun Che didn't seem to care to absorb the wood origin into his body to absorb the wood origin, as if he wasn't afraid that the wood origin of the wood to explode his body to explode to pieces. Seeing Yun Che's appearance, many cultivators who had some foundation in the ruins also thought of the same thing. Just as Yun Che was getting carried away and the Devil Emperor Qi was getting flustered and exasperated, Emollient Qi suddenly frowned again. Although the Devil Emperor Qi was furious, he didn't use any divine ability to chase after the wood origin. Instead, his actions seemed to be putting on an act. Emollient Qi was shocked and hurriedly shouted, "Brother Yun, be careful of the willow." Unfortunately, before he could finish his sentence, an emerald green brilliance flashed in midair. Immediately after, a muffled puff sound rang out. The golden light protecting Yun Che's body was instantly annihilated. The space in front of the primordial spirit manifestations, chest twisted, and a speck of emerald green that was stained with blood seeped out. As soon as this emerald green appeared, it immediately expanded and gradually grew like a germinating seed. However, the price of this seed's growth was beyond the imagination of ordinary people. The fertilizer for the seed was actually Yun Che's primordial spirit image. As the seed grew into a sapling, Yun Che's primordial spirit image rapidly shrank. The faint halo above the image was now abnormally dim. Yun Che's primordial spirit had been absorbed by the sapling. "You. It's actually really you." Yun Che lowered his head and looked at the bloodstain on his chest. He sadly turned his head back and his eyes were filled with disappointment, regret, and pain. He said in a low voice, "How could it be you?" "Be careful of what?" Behind Yun Che, the green light dissipated, revealing Lu Wuxia's figure. At this time, Lu Wuxia had a smile on her face. Her gaze swept past the crowd and landed on Emollient Qi. She asked sarcastically, "Be careful of Lu Wuxia?" "That's right." Emollient Qi's face was also angry, and even a little twisted. Seeing the green color on Yun Che's face, she knew that Lu Wuxia was vicious. She actually used the Misty School's secret art to attack Yun Che's primordial spirit. She scolded, "Be careful of Lu Wuxia." "Oh? Why should I be careful of Lu Wuxia and not Emollient Qi?" Lu Wuxia raised her hand and flicked her middle finger. A wooden arrow flew out and landed on the copper coin. The wooden arrow made an ingenious turn and landed in her hand with the origin of wood. Her hand was as beautiful as a flower. Looking at the copper coin that imprisoned the origin of wood, Lu Wuxia could not help but smile. "It's very simple." Emollient Qi looked at Yun Che's life force fading away with heartache. She said coldly, "When the devil race surrounded the ruins, this Emo had already privately looked for Sect Master Yun. Although the devil race could surround the ruins and seal most of the teleportation channels, how could the devil race know about those secret teleportation channels? Even if they have innate spatial talents, they definitely wouldn't be able to discover them, unless they have a spy in the ruins. And this spy must know all the secret teleportation channels in the ruins. In the entire ruins, those who fit this condition can be counted on one hand." Emollient Qi looked at Lu Wuxia, as if she wasn't afraid that Lu Wuxia would suddenly attack. "Among these people, Sect Master Lu seems to be the most suspicious, right?" However, Sect Master Yun didn't care, and turned a deaf ear to this Mo's words. "Sigh, as expected, you've finally revealed your true colors." Then, Emollient Qi looked at Yun Che and asked, "Sect Master Yun, you knew that Lu Wuxia was the most suspicious. Why didn't you guard against her?" Yun Che looked at Lu Wuxia. All of the regret in his eyes had disappeared, leaving behind only a faint trace of sadness. He replied softly, "There are some people that I need to be on guard against, but there are others that I don't want to be on guard against. I'm willing to give my everything to her, and I only hope that she won't let me down." Unfortunately, in her eyes, nothing can compare to power and lust. Everything she does has a purpose. My choice may have been wrong, but I don't regret it. "You." Emollient Qi stomped her feet. She was really angry that he didn't fight back. She didn't know what to say. A strange expression appeared on Lu Wuxia's face. She looked at Yun Che and lifted her hand, as if she was about to do something. However, when she touched his hand, She couldn't feel any magic power. Lu Wuxia then asked, "You knew all along?" "I can't take what Sect Master Emo said seriously. But when I heard that you and Spiritual Master Xiao were fighting together, and Spiritual Master Xiao went missing, you were heavily injured and went into seclusion, I immediately became suspicious. You've always treasured your reputation, so how could you be injured so easily? And when I heard that Spiritual Master Xiao had a devil art, I was even more certain. If the devil race has a spy in the ruins, then it must be you." Lu Wuxia's expression tightened. Then, she asked with interest, "Then why didn't you tell Spiritual Master Xiao Hua? Although you're not my match, Xiao Hua has the strength to do so. Spiritual Master Xiao abhors evil. If I told him, would you still be alive? Moreover, Spiritual Master Xiao is an outsider after all," Yunche said. He wanted to take out the pill, but his strength seemed to have been sucked out. He only had the strength to speak. Emolienchi was about to move, but the Devil Emperor waved his arm and blocked in front of Emolienchi. Lu Wuxia glanced at Emolienchi and said indifferently, "His heart veins have been destroyed, and his primordial spirit has been sucked into the wood spirit. You don't need to waste your time. I just want to get the wood origin to surpass the Tao transformation. Don't force me to do it." "I forced you to do it?" Emolienchi was furious. She pointed at Yunche and said, "You did it yourself? No one forced you. You killed the person you trusted the most. No one can accompany me on the path of Tao transformation." Lu Wuxia said indifferently, "There's no such thing as trust in this world." Humph. Emolienchi looked at the dying Yunche and felt an indescribable pain in her heart. She snorted and said, "Did you hear it with your own ears? This is Lu Wuxia's answer. Are you satisfied now?" "It doesn't matter if I'm satisfied or not." Yunche shrunk his neck. The little sapling in front of his chest had grown into a big tree, and his body had returned to the size of an ordinary person. He really looked like a human hanging under a big tree. He said in a lonely voice, "I just feel a little cold." "That's because your heart is cold. I told you long ago." Emolienchi didn't know how to comfort Yunche. "Sect Master Emo, do you remember the song I hummed to you?" Yunche suddenly asked. Emolienchi was stunned, but she replied without hesitation, "Of course I remember. Why do you suddenly ask?" "Good." Yunche's eyes shone with a trace of brilliance, and the corner of his mouth curled up as he said, "I really miss those days. The sky was blue, the moon was curved, the water was clear, and the clouds were faint. Pitiful, I'll leave everything to you to decide. I want peace." After saying that, Yunche tilted his head. A Tao transformation cultivator actually died just like that. This really shocked everyone present. After all, a Tao transformation cultivator had already cultivated a primordial spirit. A simple primordial spirit thread divine ability could allow a Tao transformation cultivator to escape. How could he die so easily? Of course, if Yunche wasn't determined to die, then it was because Lu Wuxia's method was too powerful. Sigh. Emolienchi sighed as she watched Yunche's body rapidly wither away. Not even a trace of his primordial spirit could escape. She began to sing an inexplicable ballad. The ballad was cheerful and sad at the same time. However, as the ballad was sung, the copper coin in Lu Wuxia's hand suddenly emitted a sharp energy fluctuation. -13. Chapter 4176. "Io, this is bad." Lu Wuxia sensed this fluctuation and immediately had a bad feeling in her heart. She immediately decided to teleport away, but it was already too late. The copper coin suddenly exploded under the influence of Emolienchi's ordinary song. The copper coin was an artifact that could seal the origin of wood, so its explosion was extremely powerful. Lu Wuxia was just about to teleport away when the shockwave had already enveloped an area of 1,000 miles. Not just Lu Wuxia, even Emolienchi, Devil Emperor Qi, and many other human and devil cultivators were trapped. Strands of earthy yellow lightning emerged from the copper coin's explosion. In the blink of an eye, half of Lu Wuxia's head and half of her shoulder were torn apart. Moreover, even more lightning surged out from the cracks and pounced on all the humans and devils within 1,000 miles. Emolienchi suddenly came to a realization. She knew that Yunche couldn't kill Lu Wuxia, so he told her the method to kill Lu Wuxia. Moreover, he couldn't face Lu Wuxia's death, so he didn't guard against Lu Wuxia. His heart was filled with grief, and he sped up the song again. However, when he saw how powerful the copper coin was, he hesitated and stopped. In the few breaths of time he stopped, the copper coin's shackles loosened. Devil Emperor Qi immediately laughed sinisterly and stretched his devil arm into the void. Emolienchi was shocked and quickly retreated. But after retreating a few miles, Emolienchi suddenly discovered that at the place where he was standing before, hundreds of white bones had emerged from the void and pierced into a Emolienchi who looked exactly like him. Moreover, several miles to the left of Lu Wuxia, a faint layer of mist was destroyed by the copper coin's explosion as if it had been washed away by water, revealing a completely different world. An illusion formation? Emolienchi turned pale with fright. He really couldn't understand how he had fallen into an illusion formation. Moreover, he wasn't the only one. All the human and devil cultivators in the ruins, and even the 3 devil emperors, had fallen into this illusion formation as well. Who in the world had such great divine ability? At this time, Emolienchi's face suddenly revealed ecstasy. After all, if this place was an illusion formation, and his body could be transformed, then did that mean everything that had happened before was also an illusion? He could not help but look towards the place where Yunche had fallen. How he wished that Yunche's figure could still be standing in the sky right now. Unfortunately, just as he released his divine sense, a faint voice sounded in his ears, "Sect Master Emo, don't look anymore. This illusion array was set up by me, but the core of the illusion array is the demonic array's demonic spirit. Fellow Taoists, you're only affected by it. Everything that happened before is real." Previously, when fellow Taoist Yunche invited this Xiao to be a guest elder of the Shendao sect, he already told this Xiao about the spies in the ruins. This Xiao has met the sect masters of the 3 great sects, and has long since suspected Lu Wuxia. However, while I was on guard against Lu Wuxia, I neglected her ambitions. I didn't know that she also coveted the origin of wood. Moreover, you've also seen that this Xiao has to use all his strength to collect the 2 origin magnetic stones. I don't have any spare energy to guard against her attacking others. However, Sect Master Yunche's magic treasure is truly powerful. This Xiao is worried about how to kill Devil Emperor Qi. Why? Don't Sect Master Emo let this magic treasure explode? It'll also fulfill Sect Master Yun's wish. Sect Master Emo, don't be afraid of injuring our human cultivators. This Xiao's illusion array can control a portion of the magic treasure's explosive power, so that the human cultivators won't be injured. Moreover, if we don't kill Devil Emperor Qi now, won't more human cultivators die when he goes crazy later? Although the voice was Xiao Hua's, it was not Xiao Hua who said it. At this time, Xiao Hua was using all his strength to collect the 3 origin magnetic stones. The one who transmitted the message was the green-robed Xiao Hua. Hearing Xiao Hua's words, Emolienchi was shocked. He was clear about Xiao Hua's cultivation level, and he also believed in the divine ability of the incense cult's founder. He believed that Xiao Hua was the incense cult's savior. However, he really could not believe that a mere Dao transformation realm cultivator could set up such a huge illusion array and confuse 3 great devil emperors. Moreover, one of the 3 devil emperors was the Devil Emperor Qi of the zombie race and the devil spirit of the devil formation. However, at this time, there was no time for him to hesitate. He narrowed his eyes and began to chant the ballad again. Rumble. Tens of millions of yellow thunderbolts flashed in the sky not far away. A destructive aura shrouded the area within 1,000 miles. As soon as this terrifying aura appeared, it immediately tore apart the illusion array. Many places where human cultivators were standing were turned into empty space. The devil cultivators who were fighting against the human cultivators were dumbfounded. Devil Emperor Qi also looked at the place where his devil arm had extended out in surprise. Emolienchi, whose primordial spirit and physical body had withered just a moment ago, had disappeared. The most shocking of all was Lu Wuxia. After Lu Wuxia's head and arm were destroyed, he had lost all hope and thought that there was no way out for him. But at that moment, Emolienchi had hesitated. and the explosive power of the copper coin had weakened. Lu Wuxia had hurriedly fled. In the span of a few breaths, Lu Wuxia had already teleported more than 1,000 kilometers away. However, when she saw the lightning coming again, she realized that she hadn't even moved more than a few feet. The lightning from the copper coin was still right above her head. Lu Wuxia's face was pale. Without hesitation, she opened her mouth, and a pure white xiaohua appeared. As the xiaohua appeared, the space around Lu Wuxia immediately collapsed. The remaining half of her head rapidly aged, and her entire physical body gradually withered. However, the copper coin of the Shundao sect was a divine metal object. It could be used to attract the origin of wood, and it was also the nemesis of wood-type spiritual objects. The khaki-colored lightning fell from the sky. Although the pure white xiaohua propped up a corner of the sky, and the xiaohua also emitted powerful waves of energy, it only lasted for a few moments under the khaki-colored lightning. Boom! The metal waves annihilated the wood waves, creating a kind of annihilation of the 5 elements. This annihilation was like a pitch-black vortex, annihilating everything within a few miles. As the sect leader of one of the 3 great sects of the ruins, Lu Wuxia was a well-known expert in the ruins. Now, she was also helpless in the face of this annihilation of the 5 elements. Not only was her broken physical body sucked into the vortex, but her primordial spirit of the 5th stage Dao transformation realm was also sucked into the vortex. Not a single wisp of her soul escaped. It was exactly as the saying went, too clever of a trick, and it ended up ruining Qingqing's life. Naturally, there were hundreds of Dao cultivators around Lu Wuxia. When they were escaping, they were not trapped by the illusory formation. Now, those who were slow to escape were killed, but most of them were still alive. If Lu Wuxia was in such a state, Devil Emperor Qi would not fare any better. Under the illusory formation controlled by the green-robed Xiaohua, many khaki-colored lightning also fell on Devil Emperor Qi's demonic body. Although Devil Emperor Qi's demonic body was tens of thousands of feet tall, the demonic runes on his demonic body shattered when the lightning struck. Waves of demonic light also roared to meet the attack, but these pitch-black lightning all collapsed when it came into contact with the khaki-colored lightning. After the demonic runes were destroyed, the demonic armor appeared. The demonic armor of Devil Emperor Qi seemed to have some history. As the thunderbolts landed, the demonic armor roared furiously as the demonic souls of the devil race emerged from the armor and devoured the thunderbolts. Of course, this only lasted for a moment. Hong long long. Thunderous rumbles came from the demonic armor. The Devil Emperor Qi was like a demonic armor. Unfortunately, the demonic armor was a demonic slayer armor. As the thunderbolts pierced into the demonic body of Devil Emperor Qi, it tore apart the demonic body that Devil Emperor Qi had spent a long time refining. Roar! Devil Emperor Qi roared into the sky, and his demonic body quickly shrank. At the same time, the demonic hammer on his demonic arm danced, and the silver-black demonic arm also struck towards the lightning. The demonic hammer also had pitch-black demonic runes and lightning on it, but they all collapsed under the khaki-colored lightning. Even the demonic hammer was destroyed. As for the silver-black demonic arm, although the lightning couldn't destroy it, it still created deep holes, making it look like it was riddled with holes. As Devil Emperor Qi's demonic body shrank, the demonic energy around Devil Emperor Qi formed layers of demonic seals to resist the lightning. Although the demonic seals were destroyed one after another, the demonic energy was also formed one after another. For a time, the lightning couldn't kill Devil Emperor Qi. While Devil Emperor Qi was holding on, tens of thousands of demons around him were also destroyed by the lightning and turned into dust. Seeing this, the demon Emperor Qi's heart was filled with sorrow. They targeted the ruins because they saw that the ruins didn't have a profound cultivation sect. However, he didn't expect that the Tai-Bai sect had already set up a trap in the ruins. Although the Shindao sect Master Yin-Che didn't have the strength to kill the Devil Emperor, the Tai-Bai sect left the ruins a divine weapon that could kill the Devil Emperor. Although this divine weapon was far from being pushed to the limit, the destructive power of the divine weapon was enough to complete the Tai-Bai sect's mission. Crack, crack. All of a sudden, the lightning in the sky disappeared, and the copper coin that had exploded was left with a broken shape in the air. Devil Emperor Qi was stunned. How could he still hesitate? His demonic energy was already exhausted, and if the lightning fell a few more times, he would die. Devil Emperor Qi urged his body, and like a stray dog, he hurriedly fled towards the sky. The moment the thunderbolts stopped, another round of 5 Qi righteous thunders struck down from above Demon Emperor Qi's head. How could Devil Emperor Qi not know that this was the Confucian cultivator Xiaohua's attack? He hurriedly stretched out his broken demonic arm and grabbed towards the sky. A layer of ripples blocked the 5 energy righteous lightning like a fishing net. However, before he saw the lightning rumble, a kind of fear immediately appeared in his heart, and he fled towards the sky without hesitation. However, just as he moved, and before the demonic shadow appeared, swoosh, a golden light flashed in the sky, and the soaring dragon scissors slashed across his demonic body. Crack! A clear cracking sound came from his heart, and his demonic core was cut in half by the soaring dragon scissors. -13.